Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is story about what if Naruto Dojutsu and Sasuke bashing part 1. Before I start, please do support for more amazing content and comments for part 2. Do consider to subscribe my channel and share my video to your friends and check out the description as well. Let's start the video. Naruto opened his bright blue eyes. He looked at the alarm clock as his fans simply swirled around. He said out loud to no one in particular, I guess today is the day, I guess. I have a mission that I must complete. He got up and took a shower for about 30 minutes. Naruto got out and went to his closet. He saw his dark red, almost crimson jacket. He touched the thread and felt the fine silk and power. He did a silent prayer and put the jacket on. It was time for Naruto to go for his test. Training Ground 7. Naruto noticed he was the earliest one there. The sun was not even up yet. He sat up in the highest tree and started to read his book. This book was not an ordinary book. This book was on the combination of seals and elements, and how they work. It wasn't an easy subject that you're blown by with. This was hard stuff to understand. Naruto understood how the hand signs worked. The hand sign rabbit gives a jutsu speed. Tiger is the activating sign for fire. The uses of hand signs and chakra have Naruto wanting to learn more. He wanted to be able to create his own jutsu. Unfortunately, someone came to his inner circle. He looked down from the tree to see Sakura there. To be honest with himself, he knew exactly what was going to happen if she found him. He noticed that she wasn't going to help them on this test. Her pink hair was a clear giveaway. It didn't help she had a pink and bright red dress on. He looked closer to see she didn't even have a weapons pouch. He sighed as he knew this was going to be a big problem, especially since she acts like she had this shit in the bag. He thought to himself, I hope to Kami something changes her. Unfortunately it won't come fast enough. Oh well, I got to save her from herself, just not right now. So he just simply kept reading his book in silence. An hour later, he saw the last loyal Uchiha make it to the training grounds. Naruto didn't trust the Uchiha. He has this aura that screams power hungry. He heard different people talk about the Uchiha stealing their jutsus. Naruto didn't know if that was true or not. He was going to make sure that Sasuke doesn't. He sighed as he flicked the next page of his book. He knew that his sensei would be late, so he pulled out a ration bar and ate it. He felt the trees bristle as his sensei had made it. He was surprised as Kakashi never came this early. He sighed as he closed his book. He just waited for the right moment. The training ground. Kakashi looked at his two members of his team. He said, Sakura and Sasuke, do you know where Naruto is? Sakura replied, where is that baka? What is he trying to do, make me and Sasuke-kun fail? Ooh, when I see him, I'll show what it means to be late. Sasuke, on the other hand, was not only brooding. He thought to himself, where is the Dobat? Doesn't he know that if I fail then I can't learn how to beat Itachi? I will not fail because of you or anyone. Kakashi felt the wind pick up. Although he looked aloof from the outside, in the inside was a totally different. He thought, that wind is chakra-laced. It looks like the person in the tree is finally coming out. This guy can be a problem in the future. For now I'll wait till he makes a move. Sakura said, Kakashi-sensei, where is this wind coming from? She was feeling the wind take her away. Suddenly the wind stopped. Right in its place was the blonde. Sakura was so surprised by the sudden appearance of Naruto, she screamed. Kakashi saw that Naruto was right next to Sakura. His eyes went wide as he didn't even see or felt Naruto's presence near. This scared him immensely, but he had to keep that to himself. He said, Naruto, you are late for our test. Care to explain him? Naruto's eyes flickered from gold to bright blue. He said in a polite tone, Kakashi-sensei, I was here before everyone. I was simply in the tree waiting for you to come. Kakashi's lone eye went wide. He was the one in the tree. That's impossible. I didn't even feel him come. What is Naruto up to? I am going to have to watch him. The other two were extremely shocked since they did not even know Naruto was even there. Sakura thought Naruto was lying. Sasuke, on the other hand, was wondering how strong Naruto really was. He shrugged it off as Naruto was the dope after all. He couldn't be that strong. Can he? Kakashi pulled out an alarm clock. He said, well, Team 7, your test will begin shortly. Your test is to snatch these two bells out off of my belt. Sakura asked, Kakashi-sensei, why are there only 2 bells? Kakashi gave her a nice smile. He said, very good, Sakura. There are only 2 bells because only 2 can pass the test. Also, you only have an hour to get them. Before I forget, you must come at me with the intent to kill. Naruto said in a relaxed voice, are you sure, Kakashi-sensei? What if you get hurt? Kakashi gave him a nice smile and said, well, Naruto-kun, if I get hurt then you did a very good job. That put a smile on Naruto's face. It wasn't the same kind of foxy smiles Naruto is known for. No, this was a predator one. This one was one that Kakashi would regret later. Kakashi did an eye smile and said, "Begin." Sasuke and Sakura decided to hide in the bushes. Naruto, on the other hand, sat on the ground in lotus position. He closed his eyes and said, "Kakashi-sensei, I would advise you to take me seriously." Kakashi reached into his pocket and pulled out his orange book. Kakashi thought Naruto would have had a tick mark on his forehead. Instead, Naruto had a smile on his face. He pulled out his outer book from his pocket. It was the exact same book as Kakashi. He opened the book and said, Per Kakashi, this book has Jiraiya's signature on it. It says, to my favorite fan Kakashi, Jiraiya of the Sannin. Which one did you get? Kakashi's eyes went wide as his book became smoke. As the smoke came, Kakashi was kicked in the face and pushed him back. Naruto closed the book as Kakashi looked at him with shock. He smirked and said, "I told you to take me seriously. As your fit punishment, I will destroy your precious book with my newly created jutsu." He threw the book up and did the hand signs, dog, rabbit, monkey, and bird. He then said, "Futon, Marui Rizengban no Jutsu, wind style, razor circular disc." His right hand started to become a transparent circle. When the book fell, Naruto did a few flicks of his wrist. The book hit the ground in pieces and flew in the wind. Kakashi, Sakura, and Sasuke could not believe their eyes. Naruto smirked and said, "Kakashi, now can you be serious? I want to fight." Naruto then rushed Kakashi. He pulled at his kunai and tried to strike Kakashi. Kakashi got out of his stupor and saw red, and it wasn't Naruto's jacket. He swiftly dodged Naruto's strike and countered with an elbow to the head. Naruto dropped down and did a leg sweep. Kakashi jumped only to see 3 kunais coming at him. He dodged them only to see they were hinged kunais. The 3 Kagebushin unhinged themselves and attacked Kakashi in the air. The first undid a side kick to Kakashi's head but missed. This caused Kakashi to swipe at it with one of his own kunais. This proved to be futile as the other one punched him in the back. Then the other one kicked him in the jaw. This sent him into a tree. He landed with an oof sound. He was thinking, "Fuck, that kick hurt. Who is this kid? He is supposed to be the dead last. Whoever said that, I'm going to find them and kick their ass." He did some great combinations with the Kagebushin and the henge with great speed. He even created his own jutsu. I might have to take him seriously. He might be the only kid I know that can dash. His thought process changed as he felt the tree he was on get hit. He looked down and saw Naruto charged up his created jutsu. He thought, "Shit, gotta get out of the tree before it falls." He jumped out of the tree only to see a Bushin coming out of the tree with him. He did a spin in the air with his kunai and made it burst. He landed on his feet on the ground. He said, "I must say, Naruto, your skill are very impressive. Yet you rely on your Kagebushin too much. It's getting cliché. Don't you think?" Naruto had a smirk on his face. He said, "I agree wholeheartedly. I think that it's like a chain holding me down. Well, I guess I got to chain that." Kakashi recognized something was wrong when he said chained instead of change. Next thing he knew, Naruto did the hand sign, rat. He said, "Hijitsu, Kusari Yori Tentu, secret art, the chains from heaven." Soon Kakashi felt chains came up from the ground. The chains grabbed Kakashi's arms. He started to struggle as he couldn't move. Soon his legs were being chained. He soon started to sink to the ground. Sasuke. His eyes must be deceiving him. He could not believe the dobe was beating their sensei. Naruto was not even close to a Jonin level, but his abilities were showing otherwise. His demeanor was calm and relaxed. This wasn't Naruto. This couldn't be. Right now he should be hanging from the same tree Kakashi was in. He wanted to see how his Jonin sensei was going to do. Did he even want him as his sensei? Naruto. Naruto heard a cackling sound coming from the ground. He quickly jumped up as he saw electricity come out from the ground, destroying the training ground. He landed on a piece of slab of earth. He saw Kakashi pull himself out of the ground. Kakashi was panting as he said, "Naruto, I so hate you right now. You destroyed one of my prized possessions. Then had the audacity to drown me in chains. I only survived because I did a lightning jutsu to break it. Well, you wanted me to be serious, and then I'll show you serious." He did the hand signs, ox, monkey, rabbit, rat, and 30 or so more hand signs and said, "Suiton, Suryodin no Jutsu, water style, water dragon bullet jutsu." He blew out and something came out. Suddenly a huge water dragon came out. Its yellow eyes was looking at only one person, his target. Naruto cursed out loud. He did the familiar 3 hand signs. His hand became white again. He said to Kakashi as the ferocious water dragon came at him, "Kakashi-sensei, it's time to see whose attack is stronger." Futon, Marui Rasengan no Jutsu. Naruto put his left hand on his right wrist. He prepared himself for the water jutsu. He noticed that there was lightning in the jutsu. It must have been a part of the plan when he got out of the ground with that lightning attack. He prepared until he felt the dragon was close enough. When it was close enough, Naruto thrusted his circular razor disc at it. When the two attacks combined, a white light appeared. Soon the water exploded everywhere. The water hit Sasuke and Sakura. Kakashi closed his eyes to shield himself from the water. When he opened his eyes, he saw Naruto in his power stance. When he looked closer, he saw Naruto was not wet. In fact, he was the driest thing there. He didn't look happy at all. He said in a growl, "I don't like getting wet." Sakura. The pink-hair girl couldn't believe it. The Baka was winning in a fight against her sensei. She was feeling her knees buckle. The sheer power of Naruto was amazing. She didn't know what she would be able to do. If Naruto is this strong, then that means her chance to making the team is growing increasingly slim. She knew she couldn't beat her Sasuke-kun. So her only hope is for Naruto ultimately fail, and she and Sasuke get the bells. She just didn't know how she could move her with her being paralyzed. Naruto and Kakashi faced off. Kakashi thought, "Damn, this kid is absolutely amazing. He is definitely better than the Uchiha. I don't know if I should even use it. I mean, I can't use the Sharingan because I don't want to waste all my energy. However, how he is battling against me, I might have to. I know I sure as hell can't use the Chidori as it is used to kill, but if I don't, I might as well be dead. His skills remind me of Itachi, and that is scary. This is a whole new ball game. He only has a few moments left. I think that I could last that long because if I don't, well, I'm in big shit trouble." Kakashi said, "Naruto, you are extremely impressive. Unfortunately, you only have a few minutes left. Do you think that you could last that long?" Naruto had a frown on his face. He said, "You know, Kakashi-sensei, personally I find it rather odd that you do not have out by now. You need to stop pulling punches as it doesn't benefit either of us. I don't learn anything by you holding back. To be honest, I've actually waited for you to use that deadly move, but it seems you are too much of aid to use it. Don't worry though, I'll make you use it even if it means I have to show some things." With a burst of speed, he did the hand sign, bird, and said, "Futon, Furyuta no Jutsu, wind-style wind dragon bullet technique." Behind Naruto, the wind started to pick up. Soon the wind started to take the shape of a dragon. The dragon shook the trees as it was larger than Kakashi's water dragon. Kakashi was shocked at Naruto's wind dragon bullet. He knew if he moved out of the way, Sasuke and Sakura would get hurt. Was this his plan all along? He would summon this thing and put his possible teammates in danger just to face the Chidori and Sharingan? He is absolutely crazy. But it worked. It's like he had a plan all along. He made sure they were paralyzed and forced my hand. He is really good with his emotions also. I guess I got to save the other two." He created two Kagebushin. He said to his doppelgangers, "Okay, guys, you got to be quick. Put them someplace safe and dispel. I'll deal with Naruto personally." The two clones nodded and went to do their job. Kakashi lifted his hide up and revealed his Sharingan. The wind dragon went through the whole training grounds. Kakashi was able to get away from most of the damage. He was not unscathed, however. He had deep gashes as the side attacks were powerful enough to hit everything. As he panted, he noticed Naruto's power was on another level. Naruto smirked and said, "So you finally let it out of its cage. I must admit it looks cool. However, that's not why I wanted you to activate it. The reason is I want to face the infamous Chidori fully. You know, and I know that technique isn't effective unless you have it out to change direction if need be. Now I can see just how powerful it really is. So let's go one more round. After all, it's only me and you. My disc attack at its best versus your attack. Winner is the better person, you got nothing to lose." Kakashi thought about it. Naruto was in control for now. So he said, "Okay Naruto, this is the final attack. Prepare yourself as you will face the move that has hurt many people." He did the hand signs ox, rabbit, and monkey. Soon his left arm started to form lightning around it. His hand became blue with yellow coming out of it. Naruto smirked and did his hand signs. His hands became white. Naruto said, "Finally I can see who is more powerful. Ready, get set, go." With that, the two fighters charged each other. Both cocked back as the two elemental powerhouses grew. Time seemed to have slowed for the two. The wind grew stronger the longer Naruto held it back. The lightning chirped louder the closer Naruto was to it. Sasuke and Sakura's eyes went wide as they were in the tree about to watch the collision of two strong elemental attacks. They heard Naruto and Kakashi cry out, "Futon, Marui Rasengan no Jutsu. Chidori. The two attacks collided with each other. A deep white light covered the training ground. A large boom covered Konoha. The power is so strong that it sent Naruto and Kakashi back. Kakashi hit a tree while Naruto was able to stand. Kakashi got up although his body was hurting in so many places. He heard the bell go off. He smiled and said, "Well, Naruto, as much fun as that was, you unfortunately forgot your incentive to get the bells. You don't pass." Naruto then did something unexpected. He laughed. He was literally crying as he said, "Kakashi-sensei, I might not always look focused, but I always get the job done." He then reached into his pocket and pulled out the two bells. Kakashi's eyes went wide. He looked down to see two bells on his belt. Naruto decided to explain, "Because you were in the middle of battle, you did notice the clones doing the switcheroo. So much for teamwork, huh? Oh, and before I go, I have a present for you not taking me seriously. I'll see you in the hospital." As soon as Naruto disappeared, Kakashi saw the bell change into Naruto's Kagebushin. Before he could do anything, the Bushin stabbed him in the kidney with a kunai. Kakashi cried out in pain. The Bushin had a bright, innocent smile on his face. He said to the ailing Kakashi, "Be careful what you wish. You might just get it." The Bushin looked at the two spectators. He did a slight bow to them. Before he dispersed, he heard Sasuke ask Dobe, "Where did you learn those techniques?" The Bushin smiled and said, "You should take sensei to the hospital. Also, don't worry about it." H dispersed into a poof of smoke. Sarutobi. Sarutobi has a small goatee and short spiked hair, both being dark gray, almost silver. He also has lines running vertically under each eye. He has some liver spots on his head and hands. Right now he is wearing his Hokage robes. Sarutobi sat in his seat in the center. The Sandaime Hokage waited for all 11 of the Jonin senseis to come. The most notable were Asuma Sarutobi and Kurenai Yuhi to come in. He said, "Okay, Jonin senseis, please tell who passed and who failed." Team 1 failed. Team 2 failed. Team 3 failed miserably. Team 4 didn't even try. Team 5 almost killed themselves, so they failed. Team 6 wasn't worth the time. They failed. Sarutobi was waiting for Kakashi. He said, "Kakashi, where are you?" Just then one of the ANBU came in. He was extremely fidgety as he was get Kakashi's killing intent. Sarutobi's hard gaze gave him the message of "Speak, or you won't have a voice." The poor ANBU said in a squeak, "Hokage-sama, Kakashi-sama could not make the meeting." Sarutobi tapped his fingers on the desk and said, "Please explain why Kakashi would not be here. It better be a real good explanation." The ANBU finally got his voice back and said, "Hokage-sama, the reason H isn't here is because he is in the hospital. He received a ruptured kidney by his student Naruto Uzumaki. His other students brought him in. He also has different lacerations and injuries. He sent me to give you the message that they all passed because of Naruto. He also said that he didn't want Naruto to do anything with the team as he wasn't able to test them as it took the whole time to fight Naruto. The fight was off the charts. I have it on video for $10. It's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to see Sharingan Kakashi get beat by an academy student." The Jonin senseis almost went into panic mode. Sarutobi silenced them. He said, "Tenzo-san, give me the tape. I want to see what happened personally." Naruto. Naruto was lying down on his bed. He waited for someone or something. He kept reading his book. He looked at his wrist that he taped. The move was powerful, yes, but the after effects were sickening. He took out his book and started to read. His mind, however, was on the battle. H knew Kakashi held out on him, but still. He needed to get stronger. Soon he felt the wind move his curtain. He closed his book along with his eyes. He sighed as he said, "It is about time, Fenikusa-sama and Karasa-sama 7. Naruto opened his eyes to see two humanoid birds looking right at him. The first bird is Fenikusu. The being's body was about 6 feet tall. Its body was a combination of blood red and bright orange. On its body there was a kanji sign that Naruto could not read due to what happened earlier. Its feet had 3 talons in the front and 1 in the back. Its wingspan was at least 10 feet long. Its wings were red and gold on the back. In the inside it was orange and silver. The face of this being was majestic as a swan's face. The face was golden with a hint of red. Its eyes were golden, moon crescent shaped. The being was extremely beautiful, majestic and overall powerful. The second bird was Karasu. He was about 6 feet even. His body has jet black fur with a single silver line going down his back. His face was that of a raven. His eyes were a glossy black with a twinge of red. His beak was silver. His wingspan was about 8 feet in length. Fenikusa said, "Hello Naruto-kun, indeed it has been a long time. How have you been? From what Fox has been telling me, you have learned the Phoenix Jutsu pretty well. Fox has enjoyed his time with you, Naruto." Karasa decided to speak. "Fanny, don't try to act prestigious. You know and I know you have a mouth and don't like formalities. In any event, Naruto-kun, I've heard so many good things about you since our last encounter. Reaver has told me that you are highly aligned and adept to the way of the Raven." Naruto bowed at the two. He said, "Fenikusa-sama and Karasa-sama, thank you for your kind words. I have worked hard on the techniques. I must also say thank you to you guys. If it wasn't for you, I would not be as skilled as I am." A 5-year-old Naruto was running away from the villagers. Naruto stole an apple from the grocery store as he didn't have any money and he was hungry. He ran his little heart out. He knew what he did was wrong, but still he needed to eat. He was trapped in a corner and knew he was going to get hurt. Before he was hit, he disappeared in a flash of light. Fenikusa started to snap his fingers in Naruto's face. He yelled at Naruto, "Focus!" Naruto instantly broke out of his stupor. Naruto said, "Gomen, I was remembering how I met you too. That answer will suffice for now." Karasa said, "Naruto-kun, as you know, your body is going through puberty. That means your body is changing. As Fox and Reaver have taught you about almost everything, this is something you will have to experience. The reason we are telling you this is your bloodlines are starting to take form. This goes back to your parents. One had the Phoenix Dojutsu. The other had the Raven Dojutsu." Naruto asked, "Karasa-sama, I feel the need to know who my parents were? I mean, I hear Reaver and Fox talk extremely high of them. It is like they were legends to them. Every time I ask them, they sigh as it is a bad memory, and they say not now. I want to know when it is at the right time." The two can see the look of loneliness and sadness radiating from his eyes. They wanted to tell him, but they were under oath to not tell him until he reached the age of 16 or became a chunin per the request of his parents. Fenikusa really didn't know what to say as he was the one with the mouth. Karasa didn't know what to say either, even though he was the voice of reason. Naruto dejectedly said, "I guess now is not the right time either, oh well. Okay, Karasa-sama and Fenikusa-sama, what are your bloodlines? How are they activated?" Fenikusa decided to speak. "Well, Naruto-kun, the Phoenix Dojutsu is truly a magnificent one. Most Dojutsus and Kekkai Genkais come from demons that have long since died out. That's a story for another time. The Dojutsu is activated during a time of need. That time of need is when the body is not capable to perform. In desperation, the legendary Phoenix Dojutsu awakens. The big liability is that it must be done while the sun is out. The Phoenix Dojutsu appearance consists of the wielder's eyes turn gold. When you start to grow stronger with the eye, your gold eyes will gain a diagonal line on the right side of the iris. Then you will get the second diagonal line. When you master it, the two lines will become bolder. The final form is when the two lines connect at the bottom of your eyes. It will make a V sign, then 3 lines sprout out on each side. The Dojutsu works like this. The first form will make your body start to change. You will be able to sustain hits. Your muscle mass will become denser and flexible. Your speed will increase dramatically. What is great about it is that when you deactivate it, your body will become that dense. That's the first part. The second part is different. Your body will gain appendages. For example, you will gain wings in your back. It is very painful, by the way. Your body will become more adept to the elements. You will be able to master the elements Katon, Raiton, and Futon. That also means that ninjutsu users will have a hard time defeating you as your body can take the attacks. The final form is hard to describe. The power can make you disappear in a flash. Time and space mean nothing to it. Your body cannot take damage. You will be able to use all elemental attacks without it hindering you. You will need a lot of chakra, but still. You will be able to use the 7 gates without dying. There are not many drawbacks except that you need an abundant amount of chakra. This is the Phoenix Dojutsu, the Dojutsu of the body. Naruto's eyes went wide. He honest with himself, that power sounds incredible. He said, "Fenikusa-sama, the Phoenix Dojutsu is incredible. The mere strength is so powerful I can't even describe that power." Fenikusa started to flex his muscles. Karasa just rolled his eyes. He said, Now, Naruto-kun, haven't you learned not everything that glitters is gold? I know you like the power of the body. However, the power of the mind outduels the body. That's where the Raven Dojutsu comes in. The Raven Dojutsu is known as the Mind Dojutsu. It activates when your mind is under immense stress during the night. It is highly powerful. Let me start off by telling you what it looks like. When you first activate it, your eyes will turn silver. The next phase, it will gain a light blue reverse diagonal line on the left side of each eye. The next phase, you will get a light blue reverse diagonal line on the right side of each eye. They will connect at the top of your eye. When you completely master it, you will get a dark blue ring that connects with the triangle. When your eyes turn silver, your mind becomes open. What I mean by open is your brain starts to see different ways of getting out of the way and surviving. You start to use your surroundings to environment to analyze situations. The first blue line opens up your chakra channels. You gain almost perfect chakra control even when you deactivate the eye. Also, your brain capacity will grow drastically. You will be able to learn, remember, comprehend and execute things much better. You will have photographic memory to the point of seeing the small details. You will also be able to disappear into shadows. If you are powerful enough, you can send your whole team into the shadows and not be detected. The next stage, you will be able to use your chakra to a whole new level. You see, Naruto-kun, you are able to use your chakra to make invisible force fields. Also, you are able to send force field attacks to your opponent. You will be able to do telekinesis. By that time, you will have mastered the elements of Doton and Suiton. For example, you will be able to pick up slabs of the earth and throw them without the use of hand signs or anything. Meet. The final form is amazing. The final form allows you to use your mind to create weapons and other things like. For example, you can create a sword in thin air. The power and force that you can use it is extraordinary. You can create so many things with your mind, you can be unstoppable. That is the power of the Raven Dojutsu, the Dojutsu of the mind. Naruto had to admit the Raven Dojutsu was extremely powerful. As he thought about it, something huge came to mind. He said, Funakoshi-sama and Karasa-sama, had it ever occurred to you to combine to make one Dojutsu? You have the yin and the yang, but it has never been done. Karasa was the one to speak. Very good observation, Naruto-kun. It seems Reaver has taught you well with the analysis. Naruto, we are two different identities. Funakoshi is the light where everything is what it is. Everything is honorable and noble. I am the darkness. There is a difference between darkness and evil. Darkness is the shadow of the light. We see the world as gray. How we Raven see and the people of this world have their own agenda. Their beliefs of right and wrong are very skewed. We believe that someone can never be all good or evil as the definition deals with society. We are exactly the opposite of each other. For us to join together, we don't have any common ground. Our summoners actually hated each other. They started many wars, so we actually stopped having summoners and blessing them with our Dojutsus. Your parents were truly special. Naruto took pride in his parents. His ear twitched. Someone was coming towards them. He said, Funakoshi-sama and Karasa-sama, we have to cut this meeting short for now. Some intruders are coming to talk to me. Ja for now. Naruto-kun, we will talk later. Ja for now. Karasa replied as he took Funakoshi into the shadows. Naruto sighed as he laid on his bed. He waited a few moments thinking about what he just learned. He could literally feel the people's eyes go through him trying to find some kind of information. He then took out a kunai and flung it in the ANBU's direction. The ANBU moved out of the way of the kunai. Naruto said in a polite tone, Hello ANBU-san, what can I do for you? The ANBU was surprised by Naruto's reaction. The captain said, Naruto Uzumaki, you have an audience with the Hokage and the Shinobi Council in 10 minutes. Do not be late. Naruto bowed to them and said, Thank you ANBU-san. Before you go, I thought it would be in your best interest if you don't try and snoop around my house. People tend to get irritated when people snoop around, don't you think so? The other members of the ANBU snarled at Naruto at his subtle threat. Their captain, however, waved it off and said, If you say so, Uzumaki-san. Then they disappeared in a puff of smoke. Naruto sighed and said to himself, That ANBU captain was cute. Oh well, I have more pressing matters to deal with. He opened his drawer and saw his dress clothes. It consisted of a dull orange button-down dress shirt. He has dress black pants with a dark orange stripe going down the seam. He put on his suit jacket with the Uzumaki symbol in the back. He then put on his dark orange tie. Naruto saw he only have a few minutes to get to the meeting. He put his hands into the bird sign and disappeared in a swirl of wind. Council meeting. Sarutobi has called together his shinobi council. He didn't invite his advisors or civilian council in as there was no such need to do so. He pulled out his pipe and lit it up as the shinobi council came in one by one. Shikaku Nara was the first to come in. Shikaku has 2 scars on the right side of his face which are probably his most noticeable feature. He has dark hair tied up into a spiky ponytail, dark eyes as well as a goatee. His ears are also pierced. Shikaku wears a mesh shirt underneath his flak jacket, a deerskin coat over that and hand guards. He is the Jonin commander and the main representative for the Ninja Council. Behind him was one of his best friends, Inoichi Yamanaka. Inoichi has a long ponytail, darker in shade than his daughter's. He also has blue eyes. Inoichi is seen wearing the standard flak jacket over a black outfit, complete with handguards, forehead protector, and a sleeveless red coat. He is the Yamanaka clan leader. The next one is Choza Akimichi. Choza has long red hair and has markings on his cheeks, with the latter being a common trait in the Akimichi clan. He is wearing a samurai-like outfit which entails a black suit completed with armor that has the clan symbol food on it. He also wears a rope belt, handguards, and instead of a forehead protector, wears a piece of cloth tied to his head, possibly to hold back his hair. The next one is the Inuzuka clan leader Sim. Sim has an animalistic look that has made her the hottest MILFs in Konoha. She has long spiky brown hair, vertical slit-like pupils, elongated canine teeth and nails. She also has the clan Fang markings on her cheeks as well as markings over her eyes and a dark shade of purple lipstick. She wears the standard outfit of a Konoha shinobi outfit. The next one is the stoic and analytical Shibi Aburame. Shibi, like all members of his clan, has his eyes obscured. He wears dark glasses with a tassel hanging down from them. He has very spiky short black hair and a mustache. He wears a high-collared outfit and carries a large gourd on his back. He is the leader of the Aburame clan. The final one to come in is the stoically arrogant Hayashi Hyuga. He has long dark brown hair and featureless white eyes like all members of his clan. He normally wears very traditional, loose-fitting robes. He has a tattoo of the Hyuga clan symbol on his wrist. He is the clan head of the Hyuga family, and the second Jonin commander. Sarutobi took a puff of his pipe and said, "Hello Shinobi Council. I know I've taken you out of your dinner for which I am sorry. However, a problem has occurred during the Genin exams. I will explain when our guest gets here. Speak of the devil, Naruto Uzumaki, please join us." The council saw Naruto come from behind the doors with his suit and tie on. They blinked as not even a few days ago the boy was wearing a bright orange track suit and screaming about him becoming the Hokage. They blinked as he bowed to them in a courteous way. They were absolutely shocked and impressed by the way he looked. He said, "Good afternoon Hokage-sama and Honorable Shinobi Council, I believe you wanted to speak to me?" Sarutobi replied, "Oh yes Naruto-kun, please take a seat." Naruto pulled out the chair that was opposite the council. Surprisingly, Naruto was extremely calm and polite. This made him suspicious. Sarutobi continued, "Naruto-kun, it has come to our attention that something happened during your Genin exam. Would you be so kind as to explain what occurred?" The members of the council were intrigued as to what happened during the Genin exam. They were admittedly too happy about their children to hear about anyone else. Naruto knew something was up, but he was going to play the politics game as an ace. He said, "Certainly Hokage-sama. Kakashi-sensei was testing Sasuke Uchiha, Sakura Haruno, and I. We were given the prestigious bell test in which the intent was to get the bells. He said to come at him with the intent to kill. He underestimated us and we were able to grab the bells. During our battle, a quote from you Hokage-sama came to mind. The quote was, 'No matter if it is a genin or a kage, they are still a ninja that has been trained to kill.' I took this heart, but it seemed that Kakashi didn't. So with the mindset to not only protect us in the future and possibly give Sasuke and Sakura the inspiration to better themselves and to let the skill of being underestimated help them, I stabbed Kakashi-sensei in the kidney. I chose the kidney because you can live with one kidney. In addition, it hopefully awakened Kakashi to the point that we cannot be so lax to even genin or future genin." The Shinobi Council could not believe what Naruto just said. He honestly did not know how to comment. The Sandaime said, "That is very noble of you, however you left out the detail about the whole time it was you versus Kakashi. Why is that?" This surprised the hell out of the council. They initially thought Naruto did it together with his team. Now this was definitely better than eating dinner. Naruto knew that the Sandaime was trying to pry out information, however Naruto had an answer to this. It was time to play with some heartstrings. He said, "Hokage-sama, as you have experienced, and what I have learned is that sometimes it only takes one person to do the deed. For example, if it wasn't for Hizashi-sama, Lady Hinata would not be here. He took full responsibility for the death of the Kumo Jonin. In this life, I have noticed that sometimes that one man must sacrifice himself to save his team. That is how I looked at the situation at the time. I was going to try and tire out Kakashi to give the other two the ability to grab the bells. They were unfortunately in too much shock to do anything. So I did what had to do for not only the sake of the mission and but the sake of my teammates, and fellow countrymen, and women to pass for the hope of them doing the same for me or anyone else. Sandaime-sama, you yourself know the feeling of patriotism and sacrificing oneself to help village, as it is the reason you became the replacement of Tobirama Senju the Nidaime Hokage." Sarutobi's eyes narrowed. He said, "Naruto, how do you know that story?" Naruto replied in a polite tone, "As you know, I want to be the Hokage. There has never been an official way to be elected to the status of Hokage. My curiosity got the better of me, so I decided to hinge and I asked around. Some of the older people gave me bits and pieces, but not too much. So with the pieces I gathered, I came to that conclusion. Am I right? Shikaku Nara, known for his intellect and strategies, was caught flat-footed as he could not say anything. The boy clearly tied up loose ends and made himself look like an ideal Konoha shinobi, sacrificing himself for the lives of the village. He was interested what sparked this politically sound genin that somehow beat one of their strongest jonin in battle. He grabbed one of the reports that he considered too troublesome to read. It talked about Naruto creating a devastating futon jutsu. He was highly interested in the fact that Naruto not only created his own jutsu, but he also created a jutsu in an element where it is extremely rare to have it. From what he recalls, only Orochimaru and Asuma have that element that was in Konoha. He knows Asuma has been with the 12 Guardians. There haven't been any accounts of Orochimaru being around. He said, Naruto-kun, from some reports that were around the town, you created your own jutsu. Is this true, and if it is, can you show us it? The Shinobi Council wanted to see the new move that Naruto created. Naruto closed his eyes. He said, Shikaku-sama and the Honorable Shinobi Council, I have no problems in showing you it. He did the hand signs, dog, rabbit, monkey, and bird. He then said, Futon, Marui Rasengan no Jutsu, wind style, razor circular disc. His right hand started to become a transparent circle. They saw Naruto get up. He flicked his wrist and hit the chair. The chair was destroyed in a matter of seconds. The Shinobi Council was in awe by the move. Hayashi used his Byakugan to see the jutsu closely. He gasped, which caused the others to look at him. He said, Uzumaki-san, your jutsu is very impressive. The wind's movement in the circular disc move in a chaotic fashion but has a dominate sharp blade. At first sight it looked as if it was the wind form of the Chidori. However, upon further review, your jutsu can be used as a long-range jutsu, direct jutsu, or mid-range jutsu. The wind blades along with some chakra can make the dominant blade expand. The mid-range part about it is that the mini wind blades can hit different parts of the person's body and be able to kill them. The direct attack is the disc attack. How did you create it? Naruto deactivated his jutsu. He said, Hayashi-sama, I created the jutsu because I wanted to have a signature move. I read how seals and the elements work together. I tried it and it worked. I guess it was beginner's luck. Are there any more questions that you want to be answered? Inoichi said, Naruto-kun, this is a sudden change in personality. From what I have heard from Ino, you were the class dead last. What caused this change all of a sudden? Naruto smirked. He said, well, isn't this something? So Ino-chan talks about me to her parents. I'm flattered. On a serious note, we are ninjas in training during the academy. Because I am the unfortunate Jinchuriki of the menacing Kyubi no Kitsune, I knew that I would not be able to learn in a piece if I showed the real me. So why be me if I can be someone else? Someone like I'm going to be Hokage. Datibio. My personal favorite was I'm going to beat Sasuke team so Sakura would marry me. That was the funniest part. I must admit I played the idiot well, but everyone else played it much better. What Ino was talking about isn't truly relevant. Are there any more questions, Shinobi Council? Sarutobi said, Naruto-kun, as you know, your Jonin-sensei is out of commission for about a week. As a result, your team does not have a leader. I believe you are capable to be the leader. However, you must take a bet. Naruto was intrigued by this. He said, what is the bet, Hokage-sama? Sarutobi smiled and said, well, as you know, Sasuke Uchiha and Sakura Haruno were not tested. As a result, we do not know if they should be genin or not. Because you did so well and you technically made the team pass, they can't be sent back. So a Jonin will test them. If they pass, you will be a Tokubetsu Chunin who is able to teach and be in charge while Kakashi is out of commission. If they don't, then you cannot become a Chunin for at least 3 years. What do you think you should do as a Konoha ninja? Naruto's eyes narrowed. He tried to see what Sarutobi was getting at. He thought about it for a moment. He then grew a stoic demeanor. He said, I'm sorry, Hokage-sama, I can't take that offer. Sarutobi narrowed his eyes. He thought Naruto would absolutely take the deal. He asked, why won't you take the deal? Naruto said, the reason is simple, I would lose. I would have about a 99% chance of losing. You see, I caught on to those sweet subtle words. You see, the situation would play like this. The Jonin has no restrictions against 2 fresh out of the academy students. You see, if you would have said that they would have failed, then I would have been all in. The reason being that none of the Jonin want to be ostracized for being the one who failed the last loyal Uchiha. However, because you said they already passed, there is no reason not to hold back, especially since I'm the Kyubi Jinchuriki. They would make sure that Sakura would be beaten almost to death and make sure Sasuke is at best unconscious. So I'm putting my team at risk if I take the offer. So I can wait to become a Chunin if it means saving my team. The Shinobi Council was extremely impressed by Naruto's deducing abilities. Sarutobi said, "Congratulations, Naruto-kun. Because of your ability to deduce and analyze situations, I believe I can speak for the rest of the Shinobi Council. When you have been promoted to Tokubetsu Chunin, you are the first one to ever exist. Be at your best at all times and show us our trust is not in vain. Come to my office tomorrow morning for I can give you the rundown on what to do." The Shinobi Council clapped for young Naruto. Naruto bowed and said, "Thank you, Hokage-sama, and honorable Shinobi Council. If I may take my leave as I have a very busy day tomorrow." They nodded and let Naruto leave. When Naruto walked out, he said to himself, "Politics is a very deadly thing indeed." Morning came early for Naruto. He sighed as he got up. He put his dark orange shinobi attire on. He said to himself, "I'll go and visit Kakashi after I meet the Sandaime Hokage." He did the bird hand sign and disappeared in the wind. Hokage's office. "Pops, who are we waiting for? Let's just get on with the meeting so we can train our teams already," said the large bearded man. The Sandaime said, "Asuma-kun, you should learn patience. Now, as I said, we will wait until he gets here." Asuma just pulled out his lighter and started to smoke. Asuma had brown eyes, short black spiked hair, and a black beard. His clothing consisted of the standard Konoha ninja uniform, though his flak jacket is seemingly darker than that of other Jonin and Chunin. He wears the 12 Guardian Ninja sash on his waist with the fire kanji marked on it. He also wore a bracelet on both of his wrists. Asuma is typically a laid-back individual, but today he really was irritated. He had a hangover from the night before. A member of ANBU woke him up and told him there was a meeting, and then find out his sister went on a cruise to the land of tea with her husband for 3 weeks. That's not a problem, except now he had to take care of their 8-year-old child, Konohamaru. That child was just as hyper as Naruto. Speaking of Naruto, the wind started to flutter. The three people covered their eyes. When they opened them, they saw Naruto looking at them with the stoicism of Minato. Asuma saw the new Naruto and said, "Pops, who the hell is he?" Naruto decided to answer for the Hokage. "My name is Naruto Uzumaki, but you can call me Naruto." Asuma and Kurenai blinked. What was he doing here? He can't possibly be the infamous Naruto that terrorized the ANBU. No, it couldn't be, could it? Naruto took note of the way they were looking at him. He was going to take care of it right now. He said, "Excuse me, sir and madam, may I have your names?" The lady that was extremely quiet before said, "Kurenai Yuhi." Naruto feigned surprise. He said in a believable tone, "You're the Kurenai Yuhi? You are the Ice Queen of Konoha, the Genjutsu Mistress of Konoha, the Queen of the Red Thorns and the third strongest woman in Konoha, right next to Yugogo Yuzuki the Purple Blade and Anko Mitarashi, the Snake Mistress. It is an honor and a pleasure to meet you." Kurenai saw Naruto bow to her. She naturally blushed from the praise. Kurenai said, "Thank you, Naruto. It is also a pleasure to meet you." He had a smile on his face as he saw the irritated look on Asuma's face. He said, "How about you, sir? What is your name?" "Asuma Sarutobi." Naruto said, "So you're Asuma Sarutobi? I've heard rumors about you. I heard you were a part of the legendary 12 Guardians for the High no Kuni Daimyo. That is very impressive. I also heard some other rumors that weren't too good, like for the death of that small kid when you tried to use one of your futon abilities." Asuma's face was dark. How did he find that out? He didn't want to say if that is true or not, especially in front of Kurenai. He took a puff of his cigarette and said, "You know you shouldn't believe all the rumors you hear." Hook, line and sinker, Naruto thought was he was inwardly smirking. He said, "You are absolutely right, Asuma-san. Rumors can be, well, deadly. To a person, like believing that someone is a dead last, has blonde hair, and shouts being Hokage, is someone you can disregard. Rumors are a two-way street. You can believe them or you don't. The best thing to do is keep your eyes and mind open and your beliefs quiet. It was something taught in the academy that you once taught at." Naruto and his subtle meanings are seriously catching Sarutobi off guard. Asuma looked at Naruto with an angry look. He did not like that Naruto caught him about rumors. Naruto continued, "Sandaime-sama, I want to apologize for my tardiness. I didn't know when to be here. Are we ready to start the meeting?" Sandaime said, "Oh yes. Kurenai-chan, Asuma-kun, and Naruto-kun, as of right now you are the leaders of Team 7, Team 8, and Team 10. Wait a minute, Pops. You mean to tell me that Naruto here is the leader of Team 7? When did that happen? What happened with Kakashi? I mean, sure, he is out of commission, but still. That doesn't explain him being here." Before Sandaime could explain, Naruto spoke up, "Asuma, as much as I do not like what you said, I would fight you to the dead for the right to say it. However, your opinion holds no weight. You see, the reason I believe I am the team leader even if it is temporary is because of the information that the Sandaime was going to tell us. He was obviously going to relay something such as a protocol, or a new way to teach things. If he had brought in a substitute to us, not only would the information that Kakashi would want to know. It is much easier if I am the correspondent, and or the temporary leader. Both Asuma and Hiruzen dropped their cigarette and pipes respectively. Kurenai had to replay the scene again to hear what Naruto said and what was going on. Naruto closed his eyes and waited for Hiruzen to respond or even Asuma to. Naruto then took a deep breath and blew out a ferocious wind. Hiruzen got out of his stupor and said, "Naruto-kun, why did you do that?" Naruto said, "There was a small fire burning. I might live in the High no Kuni, but I don't want to die by fire." Hiruzen saw Kurenai giggle. Asuma started to brood. The boy was really pissing him off upon other stuff. Hiruzen said, "Thank you for taking out the fire. Now I have a mission on hand for you three. You see, it is tradition for the senseis of the fresh, new, genin to take a mission with each other. The reason is for you three to work together and learn to trust each other. The belief is if you can trust each other as your fellow leaders, then you should be able to teach and influence your students." Naruto and the other two nodded at this. Sarutobi continued, "It's great you all are on agreement about this. Your mission is an A-ranked mission. You are going to go past Kirigakure no Sato to Isa no Kuni. Apparently there are some missing ninjas that are around causing problems. As you know, Kirigakure is in a civil war. Unfortunately, we cannot go around Kiri. You are going to have to go through Kiri. Be careful and make it back safely. The team leader will have to talk with Isa Council. I'll choose the leader." Asuma was smirking since it would be a perfect chance to teach the kids some matters. Naruto looked at Asuma and saw that Asuma might be a problem on this mission. Kurenai was thinking about Kiri and how to get away without death. Sarutobi said, "Okay Asuma, I would choose you however because of your laid-back personality and the fact that you were a member of the 12 Guardians and extremely close to the Fire Daimyo. It could be a conflict between the Fire and Ice lands." Asuma could not believe it. Because of his association with the Fire Daimyo, he couldn't be the leader. So his bargaining chip was taken away. Naruto had a small smirk on his face. He'd much rather have Kurenai as the team leader. With that being said, Kurenai, you would be the team leader. However, there is one small problem with you being the leader. Isa no Kuni is very sexiest. I don't remember why, but they are notorious for it. They have been fighting for quite some time with the Amazon women. Because you are such a strong woman, it could compromise the agreement with them. Kurenai was pissed off. It wasn't because she wasn't leader. No, it was because of the sexist bastards. Why was Konoha in trade with such a country? Naruto saw where this was going. He had a sinking feeling in his stomach. Sarutobi said, "Well, this means Naruto will be in charge." Naruto could only blink. He didn't really know what to say. Asuma sure did. "Pops, what are you talking about? The kid doesn't have any experience. For Kami's sake, this is his first mission. I mean, he is the first kid since you know who, to be a 13-year-old to do an A-rank mission. Look how he turned out." Naruto didn't like being put down, even though it was true, he didn't like it. He said, "I might not know who you know who is, but I'm not him. I am Naruto Uzumaki, and that is always who I want to be. Sure, I have flaws, but that doesn't mean I can't lead a team. I don't mean any disrespect to you, Asuma-san, but you do not know me, so for you to relate me to whoever you know who is because I am the same age as him is absolutely ludicrous. If I want to be able to become to a strong, understandable, and powerful leader, I need to be able to go out and lead. I can't hide from the world and expect to become a powerful ninja out of the blue. I want to be a leader as Asuma-san and Kurenai-san are, then it will be a great help to learn from them how to follow and to obey orders." Both Sarutobis could not fault Naruto's reasoning. Asuma was too stunned to comment. Kurenai had to look at those reports again. The Sandaime said, "Well, Naruto, it is settled then. You will be the team leader for this mission. On my desk are the reports on the place and other things that can be important. So good luck, you will leave tonight." This said hi and went on their way. Meanwhile, the other members of the Rookie Nine, even Sasuke, were having a celebration for passing. They were at the new barbecue pit down the street from the ramen shop. Ino was the first one to speak. "Hey everyone, congrats on passing your genin test." She raised her and the rookie's very first glass of sake. The rest raised their glasses and started to drink. Sasuke, however, didn't drink because his mind on something, and it has something to do with a certain blonde. Ino said, "Hey teammate, how did you pass your test?" Kiba started to answer, "That was easy. Kurenai-sensei put a genjutsu on us. For most of the match we were walking around in circles. That was when Akamaru and I figured out that she was using a powerful genjutsu. That was when me and Akamaru kicked her ass. Yeah." Hinata and Shino blinked at his vantage point. Shino pushed his glasses up. He gave Kiba his stoic and creepy glare. It was seriously creeping Kiba out as he laughed nervously. Shino, on the other hand, wasn't laughing and said, "Kiba, you should not tell lies. What really happened is Kurenai used a genjutsu on us separately. Kiba was so deep into the genjutsu that he believed Akamaru, and he was beating her up. However, it was Hinata who used her Byakugan to disable her genjutsu. When we broke it, I used my bugs to suck her chakra to submit. Even then, I know she probably could have defeated us easily, but still." The rookies were laughing at Kiba except Sasuke. Sasuke's mind was going towards Naruto with every second that passes. How is he this strong? He was the class dope. Yet he was able to beat our Jonin sensei. What's worse is that I found out that Kakashi is one if not the best Jonin in Konoha. How is that even possible that a dope could beat a Jonin? Who is the real Naruto? Ino said, "We were separated on ours. Asuma-sensei made me do a test in his mind. We battled there, and he was whipping my ass until I kicked him in the nuts. Now that's what I call a mindfuck." Chuji spoke next. Munch, he did a test of strength against me. We had to carry boulders back and forth for about 30 minutes. I barely won, but I did, so I was happy. Damn, Munch, those boulders were heavy as hell. They were about 80 pounds easily. They were laughing about Chuji's plight. Shika, of course, snickered. Yet he felt like someone was missing. He looked around and saw that almost everyone else was here, but for some reason he felt someone wasn't here. He saw that everyone was looking at him to tell his part. He said, "Troublesome?" Well, Asuma-sensei took out a testing kit. He did some puzzles with me. They were easy. We then did some shogi and go games. It was about even. He then tested my shadow abilities. I passed easily, and that was pretty much it. Ino then started to gush. She said, "Foreheaded, your turn." Now dish. Sakura didn't know what to say. I mean, she did absolutely nothing. Shika then felt an extremely powerful chakra. He looked over to where it was. He looked over and saw a guy with blonde hair and blue eyes. He had on this dark orange jacket with black pants with an orange stripe going down the side. Shika said, "Guys, look at him." "Who is he?" The rookie teams looked to see who it was. The man's attitude screamed authority. His eyes were somewhat covered so they couldn't tell who it was. Ino, Sakura, and Hinata blushed as he walked through. Ino said, "I don't know who he is, but I want a piece of that. Shika, can you stop him for me? Let's ask him if he wanted to come over with us." Shika for some reason had a bad feeling about this. His mind was telling him it was going to be troublesome, but he gave up and obliged. He got up and did the rat sign. He said, "Troublesome, hey, who are you?" The man sighed as his shadow was connected to Shikamaru. He really didn't want to deal with them. He said, "Shika, can you release me from your shadow, please?" The rookie's eyes went wide. Their thoughts were exactly the same. That sounds like Naruto. Shika said with shock clear in his voice, "Naruto, is that you?" Naruto rolled his eyes. He said, "Yes, Shika. Now can please let me go. I have business to take care of." "No can do, Naruto. You gotta have at least one drink with us. Why weren't you here with us in the first place?" That was actually on their minds. Why was Naruto not here? Naruto said, "I didn't get an invite. It doesn't matter though, I already had my ramen and my drink, which was water. I'm full and I really must get going. So Shika, I'm going to ask one more time, please let me go." Ino exclaimed, "Forehead, I told you to invite your team. How could you forget Naruto, especially if he looked like that?" Sakura became small. She started to see that everyone was a little peeved about Naruto not being there. Naruto said in a very serious tone, "I asked nicely, Shika, but it seems like you don't get the point. So," with a flick of the wrist, Naruto sent a powerful wave to the shadow user. The power was so strong that it sent Shika all the way into a booth with an oof. They looked at Naruto with wide eyes. He was able to not only break Shika's shadow, he sent Shika all the way to the booth with a flick of the wrist. Naruto said, "Well, ladies and gentlemen, I must be on my way. Enjoy the rest of the dinner, and have a great evening." With that, a large gust of wind caused the rookies to close their eyes. When they opened them, Naruto was gone. Ino could not believe it. She said, "Forehead, what the hell is going on? How is Naruto like this? When did he become well that? You might as well tell me how you passed." Sakura was squirming in her chair. She tried to lie. "We were able because of SAS." Her sentence was stopped by a slam on the table. To her and the rookie's surprise, it was Sasuke. He took one more shot before he started to speak. "Sakura, stop the lies. Tell them how we really passed." But Sasuke-kun, she tried to say, but he stopped her again. "Now, Sakura. I want to hear it come out of your mouth. What happened? Sakura sighed. Okay, Sasuke-kun. Guys, the reason we passed is because of Naruto. They looked at the two with wide eyes. They couldn't believe what they just heard. Ino, being the loud mouth and in little denial, said, Sakura, you mean after you and Sasuke-kun wore down your sensei? That has to be it. Right? Sakura shook her head. She said, as much as I want to say that, it isn't the truth. Kakashi-sensei gave us the bell test. Me and Sasuke-kun hid in the bushes. Naruto, on the other hand, faced Kakashi-sensei head-on. In fact, he faced him the whole time. He did some things with his Kagebushin. He even won the match with his own original jutsu. He had the bells from the get-go. Unfortunately, he put our sensei into the hospital when he stabbed him with a kunai. Everyone looked at Sakura as if she had to be lying. That was when Sasuke got up and saw his anger in his face. Did they know that she was telling the truth? Then the most surprising thing to happen was Hinata. She blurted, holy shit. Kakashi. Kakashi was in his bed watching TV. He was under the influence of morphine, so the pain will stop. They saw some other problems from the fight. Even under the influence, he was always alert. He saw the wind blow his curtains. He saw his blonde student in his room. Naruto said, hello Kakashi-sensei, do you mind if I talk to you for a while? Kakashi waved his good hand and said, sure, Blondie. Hey, you're one of the lucky people. Naruto said, why is that, Kakashi-sensei? The look of Kakashi's face was a too-drugged Kakashi as he said, most people who stabbed me in the kidney would not be alive right now. Kakashi laughed his heart out as if it was the funniest joke ever. Naruto laughed as well. He went into his jacket and pulled out a few scrolls. He put some chakra into one of his scrolls and a poof of smoke appeared. In its place was a tray of ramen. He said, Kakashi-sensei, I know you must be tired of the bland hospital food, so I got some of the best ramen around. I especially asked IM to make it for you. Here you go. Naruto passed it to Kakashi. Kakashi had this wide smile on his face as he ate the ramen. Naruto just looked at his future sensei. He leaned back in the chair as this might be one of his most important talks he will ever have. The ironic part of it all is that it is with a guy that is extremely drugged. He saw that Kakashi finished eating and started to speak. Kakashi-sensei, I was made a Tokubetsu genin yesterday. Kakashi nodded. He said, congrats Naruto. You are only the fifth in Konoha's history to hold that title. You are the first to hold that title during peacetime. Your predecessors were great people. So do hold the title well. Naruto replied, thank you. The thing is, I have become Sasuke and Sakura's sensei for the time being. To be honest, I really don't know how to deal with them. I mean, I have Sasuke's pride and ego that won't let me teach him without trying to learn all my techniques. Sakura still thinks that I'm the dobe who is weaker than her when in fact she is the liability to the team. Naruto, you are not thinking. Think about my Chidori earlier. You are going to them head on. You have tunnel vision. This is where your problem lies. Use your other talents like word of mouth. I heard about your political abilities from some of the council. You must be able to tell people emotions and weaknesses and use it to make them better. Naruto just sighed and closed his eyes. He chuckled and said, I see what you are saying. Also, I am going to go on an A-ranked mission starting tonight. Imagine my first mission will be an A-ranked one. Kakashi smiled as he said, I'm proud. I know it is peacetime, so who are your teammates and who is the leader? Naruto started to fumble with his words. It is kind of hard to say. He said, well, my teammates are Kurina Yuhi and Asuma Saratobi. The leader is. So Asuma is leading the squad. He is an okay guy. A little rough around the edges but can be an alright guy. I hate his cigarettes, but hey, another man's hate is another man's vice. I'm Kakashi-sensei, he isn't leading the team. I am. It took a moment for Kakashi to respond. Kakashi blinked as it came to him. So you're leading the team. That's great. It is slightly odd that you are leading a team with Jonin and you are a Tokubetsu genin. However, that is the best part of being one. The title is such a prestigious one that only the Hokage could define what you can and cannot do. Don't get me wrong, you can be written up for insubordination, but the ground rules have to be explained. Naruto smiled. He never had anyone to think of him more than the Kyuubi brat. Naruto laughed a little bit. He said on a serious note, Kakashi-sensei, I want to know something. How did you feel when you are the leader of a group? Do you ever feel pressure? Kakashi thought about this for a moment. He then smiled and said, I understand what you are feeling. Do you understand the point of D-rank missions? The point of the missions is for the team is to make mistakes. It is not only supposed to be tedious, but it also teaches how teamwork works. You see, the tension and the tediousness of D-ranked missions bring your team together. You are sooner or later going to do the Torah mission. The Torah mission helps you to develop the teamwork. What you will also see is your team's flaws and other small things. You might see that one member of your team might go to his left more times than his rights. You might see the team strike better with a direct attack. Better yet, you can see how a person reacts under pressure. As a leader, you are going to make mistakes. You are never going to be perfect. You must remember that. Sometimes your choice of actions will have a minor part in the overall world, or it could be a major part. Your choice could mean someone getting a small cut or someone dying. We as leaders will all make choices that will make us not sleep at night, but it is also rewarding when you see your genin grow up and learn different things. When you see your genin become successful and see them become leaders, it makes your heart swell up with pride. It means you became a successful leader. Naruto looked at his teacher with a deep amount of respect. He said, Kakashi-sensei, thank you for the talk. I hope you get better soon. Sorry about that. Kakashi waved it off and said, if I had a nickel for every time my fresh new genin stabs me in the kidney, then well, I would have a nickel. Kakashi started to laugh again. Naruto just shook his head at his sensei. Now Naruto, get back here safe because I'm going to test out that move. I'll be out in about 2 months. So train them well and visit every now and again. Okay? Naruto nodded and said, see you later, Kakashi-sensei. With that, Naruto disappeared with the wind. Kakashi's last thought process was Minato-sensei would be proud. Kakashi succumbed to sleep. Later on that night. Why are we doing at Naruto-kun's house? A certain platinum blonde asked. Shikamaru said, I want to know who this guy is exactly. You can't change like that with a drop of a hat. Does that mean we have to bring the whole rookie class? Sure enough, the whole rookie teams were outside Naruto's door. They were all curious about Naruto's sudden change. They were about to jimmy Naruto's house when someone opened the door. It was Naruto Uzumaki. He said, hello, what can I do for you? My master is not here right now. Shika had an incredulous look on his face. He said, Master? What do you mean, master? Naruto smirked and said, I am a Kagebushin. The Kagebushin looked at the 8 people at his master's door. The looks on their faces somewhat disgusted him. It was as if they were waiting for him to give them answer. He didn't have to answer to them. He said, I am guessing that you came up with this, Shikamaru. If I may, why are you snooping around my house? Ino was the first to talk. Well, we wanted to know what's up. I mean, 1 minute you are the doe. Next you are a new person. What happened? The Kagebushin rolled his eyes. He said, well, there comes a time in every little shinobi and little kunoichi lives if they still have it when you grow up. Naruto, when did you become so mean? Ino replied. The Kagebushin said, well, I became mean when people started to snoop around my house. I would have invited you in, but because you were camping out acting like voyeurs, I decided against it. Do you know how creepy that is? Hinata said, how did you know we were here? There was no tripwire or anything. Hinata grew up with the stoicism of her father, and her father's father. Hell, when she was 5, she even felt the stoicism of her great-grandfather before he died. Because of her mother being from the branch family, and being such a gentle woman, she was considered the soft one. When her mother died, she became as stoic as the rest of Hyuga. She treated the branch clan much better than the other main branch. She didn't use the seal on any of them as she thought it was cruel, but that doesn't mean anything. She saw Naruto as a delinquent, but she did smile as whenever he rebelled. So to see Naruto being mature had actually interested in his change. Naruto said, I have my ways, Hinata. Now please be on your merry way. Don't you guys have training to do in the morning or something? Sasuke decided to butt in. Naruto, we are not leaving until we get some answers. So if you want to move, you got to make us. Ino and Sakura jumped up and said yeah in unison. The Kagebushin rolled his eyes and sighed. He really didn't have time to deal with this. He said, okay, give me 1 second. He closed the door. They looked satisfied as they believed they got Naruto. Sasuke looked the most smug. However, they didn't see something come out from behind them. When Naruto came out, he feigned surprise. He said, guys, what the hell is that behind you? When they looked behind them only to see knockout gas spray. Shika said, son of a bitch, the troublesome bastard knock. He couldn't finish the sentence as he passed out. Their last memory was Naruto's Kagebushin waving goodbye. The Kagebushin sighed and said, well, that's easy. I must admit Master's Fuinjutsu skills are pretty impressive. Well, let me call up their parents. Hee, I definitely want to see Haishi's face. Real Naruto. Naruto was running tree to tree with his team. He saw the scowling Asuma looking at him with disdain. He saw Kurenai looking at their destination ahead. Naruto might be mature for his age, but he at least wanted a conversation. He knew once they got out of Hai no Kuni he was going to be quiet. He said, Kurenai-san, what is the dynamic of your team? Well, I plan to make my team a search, discover, destroy team. Hinata will be the one searching. Shino will discover. Kiba will destroy. She sounded proud of how the dynamic works. Naruto not so much. He said, that sounds like a plan to me. But Kurenai-san, don't you think that could backfire? Asuma butted in, what are you talking about, kid? That's the perfected thing for the group. You must be a baka or something. Kurenai said, Asuma, let him explain himself. He has proven to have some points. Go on, Naruto-san. Naruto smiled. More and more he sees that Kurenai is coming around and not seeing him as a delinquent. He said, Asuma is right in one aspect. That plan is absolutely perfect. But there is a problem with absolute perfection. It fails more times than it helps. Let me explain. The noble Aburames and legendary Hyugas are well known throughout the elemental nations as trackers. The Inuzukas are also known for their ability to use their dogs to kill. Now let's look at this situation. You are facing a missing ninja. Let's say he is a genjutsu specialist like yourself but also a skilled Doton and or water user. He allows you to track him. Once you find him, Kiba being reckless attacks him with Akamaru. Then he is able to get Akamaru during the battle. Kiba is useless as he can't think clearly with Akamaru in peril. Naturally you would have Shino to use his Kikachu bugs to suck the life out of him. However, if he uses a Swait Unjutsu, then Shino is useless. Yes, Hinata is extremely sufficient in the area of Gentle Fist. But because of his Doton ability he is able to make her and yourself stay far away from him. Right there he has you in deep pile of, excuse my language, shit. You have just compromised your team because of their family's bloodlines. Kurenai was extremely impressed by Naruto's analysis. Asuma inwardly had to respect the kid's analytical thinking. That didn't mean that he had to like it. He really couldn't fault the kid. He just didn't like being shown up. She said, Naruto-kun, that is pretty smart. What do you suggest that I should do? Naruto smiled when he heard her call him Naruto-kun. He said, well, let's look at what we know. Hinata has eyes that can see distance. So why don't you have Hinata learn a long-range jutsu? This could benefit the team as it gives the team range. I would suggest Shino gets a weapon like a sword or a hollowed long kunai. He can put his bugs in the weapon and slash someone, then the bugs could potentially get into the wound. Kiba needs to stop being reckless. Also, he relies on Akamaru too much. If I put him in a genjutsu and kill Akamaru, then he is done, possibly for the whole duration of the fight, and possibly for life. Most if not all of the clan heirs do not know what it means to truly be a ninja. Asuma grunted as he had to agree with Naruto. Kurenai was very surprised and took that thought to heart. She said, Naruto-kun, why do you think that way about the class heirs and heiresses? Well, I guess it goes to their development. As much as I don't care for it, I can't blame the academy. The academy's main purpose is to be the prerequisite of being a genin. They learn how to throw weapons, learn about different abilities and all that. The problem is Konoha is extremely lax. I mean, we have been in so-called peacetime for about 5 years. Because of this, our generation hasn't learned the feeling of lost. To be perfectly honest, only Sasuke knows true loss. I have nothing to lose. Hinata lost her uncle, sure, but she was little. No one else from the rookies knows lost. I guess that is the flaw when it comes to pre-war, war, and post-war. Pre-war doesn't teach us loss, so when war does come we don't have the mental instinct to deal with it, making us vulnerable. The ones that survive don't want their kids to be like that, but it's a vicious cycle. Asuma had to admit this kid had very good insight. Kurenai had to truly think about that. He's right on so many levels. The question is, how is he learning this stuff? Naruto saw they were about to reach Kiri in a few moments. He said, okay, Kurenai and Asuma, we're about to reach Kiri. Do any of you know the exit routes of Kiri? He saw that Asuma raise his hand. He said, okay, Asuma, where are they? Asuma grunted, I know that Kiri's rebels have 3 escaping stations. One is northeast, will lead you to Iwa. The one southwest leads you to Kumo. The one that is north leads us to Isa no Kuni. Naruto looked at Kurenai and asked, Kurenai, I know that you looked into the foreign policies of a lot of places. Can you tell me how the relationship between Konoha and Kumo is? She replied, well, Konoha and Kumo's friendship is very strained after the Hyuga kidnapping incident. They probably would kill us on sight. From what I have heard, the Reikage was beaten by the Yondaime in Battle of Speed. This is bad, as the Reikage of the past have been known to hold grudges. He could be no different. Naruto cursed, shit, this is bad. Our percentage of getting through has decreased immensely. Okay, the Sandaime gave me these new wireless devices called Bluetooth. It can locate the people on your wavelength. It will send a link into your mind where your team is located. I will also be able to hear conversations you have. To activate the Bluetooth, you must press the button. When it turns blue, you put a drop of your blood on it. It will blink 3 times, then it will turn red. Then put it in your ear, press the button, and it will camouflage itself to the color of your ear. Because we are on the same wavelength as it is, you don't have to worry about synchronizing it. The 2 Jonin senseis put blood in their respective Bluetooth. It did exactly what Naruto said it would do. They put it in their ear. Naruto said, "Okay, we have 33% chance of surviving. It's funny that it is the same percentage as the students' passing rates. Anyway, it looks like we are going to have to go into the thick of the mist. Do not get killed. I don't want 2 Jonin dead on my watch." Asuma and Kurenai said hi. They ran into Kirigakure no Sato. The air became misty as they came closer. Naruto whispered, "Kurenai, do you see the chakra that is laced in the mist?" He saw her nod barely. He said, "Okay, can you break the chakra without being detected?" She whispered sarcastically, "What do you take me as, a genin?" "Of course I can. Just give me about a second." Asuma snickered at Kurenai. Naruto, on the other hand, was wondering when this mission will be over. Soon the mist lifted. Naruto was able to see where he was going. Unfortunately, there were 5 Kiri shinobi ready to attack. Naruto said, "Oh fuck. It's time to fight." Naruto got into his stance but felt a hand land on his shoulder. He saw Asuma smirking. He said in a cocky voice, "Naruto, I got this." Naruto's pride wanted to fight the cockiness of Asuma, however he wanted to see Asuma fight. Naruto moved out of the way. Asuma pulled a coin out of his pocket. He said, "Hello you 5. Some people consider me a magician. Well, I have a neat trick for you. You see this coin? Well, I'm going to throw it in the air. By the time it reaches the ground, you will disappear." He threw the coin up in the air. Asuma smirked and pulled out his trench knives. He put wind chakra onto the blade. He said, "Hien. Flying swallow." He did a single slice. No one moved. The coin then landed on the floor. When it landed, the bodies of the 5 Kiri ninja became 2. Asuma said in a cocky tone, "Told ya." Naruto and Kurenai mumbled, "Show off." He laughed but saw Naruto ready to go. Naruto said, "As amusing as that was, we got to keep going." So they started to run. Kiri was literally a bloodbath. Bodies were flying all over the place. Body parts were scattered all around. Somehow Naruto was able to keep his stomach. He saw that there were more people coming towards them alive this time. There were 3 people. They consisted of 2 Jonin and 1 Genin. The one on the right was a fresh young Genin. He has short tufty blue hair and dark eyes. He wears square, black-rimmed glasses connected to what appear to be headphones, a blue pinstriped shirt and camouflage pattern pants. Also, he wears his forehead protector on the front of his holster, which he uses to carry his katana. He also has shuriken holsters strapped onto each of his legs. The next guy was a Jonin. He is a middle-aged man with a patch over his right eye. He wears a talisman in each ear with the kanji that says to hear. He also wears a striped shirt and pants with seemingly the same pattern, with a green robe over them. He has spiky blue hair. The Jonin in the middle was a woman. She is a slender woman in her late teens, early 20s. She has ankle-length, auburn hair styled into a herringbone pattern at the back, a topknot tied with a dark blue band, and with 4 bangs at the front. She dresses in a long-sleeved dark blue dress that falls just below the knees. It seems to be closed at the front with a zip, and is kept open on the front right side from the waist down. The dress only covers up to the upper part of her arms and the underside of her. Underneath, she wears a mesh shirt that covers more of her upper body than her dress, but stops short of covering her shoulders and still leaves a sizable cleavage. She also wears shorts in the same color as her dress and, underneath those, mesh leggings reaching down over her knees. Around her waist, she wears a belt with a pouch attached to the back on the left. Kurenai was a little bit jealous of Mei just from the look she gave Mei. Naruto and Asuma had to admit the girl was hot, but that wasn't the point. Naruto saw that they were ready to attack. The woman said in an authoritative voice, "Who are you and what do you want?" Naruto stepped up and said, although with slight edge in his voice, "Isn't it disrespectful for you to ask who we are? Not give us your name? Anyway, my name is Naruto Uzumaki, and these 2 are Asuma Sarutobi and Kurenai Yuhi. We're from Konohagakure no Sato. We are simply trying to make it to Isa no Kuni." The woman chuckled bitterly. "The name is Mei Terumi, the one on my right is Chojuro, and the one on my left is Ao. So Kiri is finally graced with the help of Konoha scum. You guys even brought an Uzumaki to boot. I'm sorry, Konoha scum, but you're not getting through." Naruto's face became stoic. His mind was processing what she just said. You guys even brought an Uzumaki to boot. What does it matter that I'm here? Something isn't right and I'm going to find out what it is. He said, "Okay, Mei Terumi, I guess you want to fight very well then. Kurenai, take that blue-haired guy. Asuma, you take on the kid with the glasses. I got this one right here." they said high in response. Kurenai. Kurenai saw the man was still laxed about fighting her. It pissed her off, as she hated being underestimated. She saw that there were trees behind Ao and smirked. Kurenai did the hand signs: dog, snake, monkey, ox, and tiger. She whispered, Megan, Jubaka Satsu, demonic illusion, tree binding death. Soon Kurenai disappeared. Ao was surprising still lax. He soon saw the tree grabbing him. He saw that Kurenai was behind him. He smirked when she stabbed him with a kunai. He dissolved into water. Kurenai's eyes went wide only to feel a kick to the face. She hit the ground hard and saw Ao looking at her with a smirk. He said, well, if it isn't Kurenai Yohi aka Genjutsu Mistress of Konoha. Nice Genjutsu attempt. The problem is I can see you through Genjutsu. Oh well, I guess I will be able to see why you are a Jonin. She spat out some blood from her mouth. She wiped it off and said, so it is true. You are Ao the thief of the Byakugan. He seemed to have smiled at this, much to her ire. He said, so Konoha remembers what happened to the oldest son of Kyoshi Hyuga, Hiyoshi Hyuga. He was a great fighter, but I killed him easily. His death wasn't in vain. He gave this eye. The best part is he was one of the most talented Hyugas to exist. I can see more than any Byakugan could ever dream of. She gritted her teeth. Hiyoshi was her genin sensei. He was the one that made her the way she was. She took his death hard, and here was the opportune time to avenge his death. She got up with a new purpose. She pulled out a kunai from her sleeve and said, you are so going to die. She rushed him ready for the kill. He narrowly dodged the attack. The problem is when he dodged the attack, he left himself open in the back. Kurenai saw the opening and took it. She put her kunai in reverse and went for the killing blow. Ao realized his stupid mistake and ducked. He went to hit her behind the knee, but she jumped up and sent 3 senbons at Ao. He got up and quickly got out of the way. She smirked while she was in the air. Ao was originally confused by this until he felt like he was sinking to the ground. His eyes went as he struggled to move. He said, what the hell is going on? She smirked as she saw him struggle. She said, I guess the Byakugan can't see everything. Only a true Hyuga can properly use the Byakugan. He spat out, how did you do this? She smiled as she knew that he couldn't move. She said, well Ao, since you're going to die anyway, I will tell you. I had a genjutsu on the ground where you are now. The problem was getting you there, but you were so fixated on me that you forgot about my genjutsu abilities. I did my Megan, Jubaka Satsu on the ground, specifically the roots. If Hiyoshi had that eye, it would never have happened. Ao snarled, you bitch, I'll kill you. She smirked as she pulled out a kunai. She said, no, I'm going to kill you. Asuma. Asuma looked at the young Chunin. He saw something gleam in the young man's mouth. He said, well, look at what we have here. You are one of the 7 swordsmen of the Mist's apprentice. From what I see, you are high up there too. This is a great chance to kill one of their apprentices. Chojuro said, so you are Asuma of the 12 Guardians. My senseis have told me much about you, especially Jinpachi. After all, it is not every day that you don't resent the man who took out your left eye. I will definitely become one of the 7 swordsmen of the mist when I present them your head. Asuma scoffed and said, big talk for one so small. Well, I'm done talking, so let's battle. Chojuro rushed Asuma with a kunai. Asuma casually pulled out a kunai and flung it at him. Chojuro quickly dodged the incoming attack. As the kunai went past, Asuma smirked. Chojuro felt a stinging sensation on his arm. He looked to see blood coming down his arm. His eyes went wide at this. Asuma was simply swirling a kunai with his pointer finger. He said, see what happens when you run your mouth. Don't worry though, you won't be talking real soon. This time he threw the kunai with extreme power. The power was reinforced with the mighty wind chakra. Chojuro threw one of his kunais to stop it. His eyes went wide as Asuma's kunai went right through it like a hot knife on butter. He quickly went down to the ground to block it. He saw Asuma's face change to killer. Asuma pulled out his trench knives and came at him with full force. Chojuro got up quickly and pulled out his katana. Chojuro blocked the strike at him barely. He jumped back, did the hand signs: monkey, rabbit, bird, and ox. He said, take this Suetun, Isanami Tunari no Tushin, water style, 1,000 blades of the roaring waves. Asuma never heard that move before. He wasn't going to take any chances, so a slight wind started to twirl around him. Chojuro grabbed his blade. It started to glow blue and multiply. Soon 1 became 2, then 2 became 4, so on and so forth. Soon it reached around 1,000 blades. Chojuro lifted up his katana and swung it down. This caused all the blades to come down at Asuma. His eyes became wide. Holy shit, I never seen this attack before. The wind picked up speed in a hurry. He said, Futon, Isaku Tatsumaki no Tate, wind style, shield of 100 tornadoes. Sure enough, 100 tornadoes started to form. As they formed, the water blades collided with the tornadoes. The power was so immensely strong it sent water everywhere. Chojuro was panting as that move took a lot out of him. Asuma smirked as he slashed Chojuro with his trench knives. Chojuro saw the transparent white blades coming at him. He weakly put his blade to protect him. When the wind blades hit the katana, it started to chip blade piece to piece. Chojuro's energy was also getting sapped as the sword was connected to Chojuro's chakra wave. With every hit, Chojuro became weaker and weaker. Asuma, however, was surprisingly the same. He was one that conserved and reused his chakra and wind chakra. He kept cutting the poor blade until it was cut in half. The last transparent wind blade went and hit Chojuro right in the chest. It sent the poor Chunin into a building, bleeding on the ground. His body was almost not moving. Asuma casually walked up to him. He looked down at Kid. Upon further inspection, Asuma saw that the boy had a tear slide down his face. He said, Well, Seven's apprentice, I guess it's time for you to die. It was a good fight, but I guess it was your last. Chojuro thought, It can't be my last. I worked too hard for it to be it. I had to beat my class to become genin. I busted my ass off to get to the 7 Swordsman's apprentice team. I cannot fail, and I will not fail Jinpachi-sensei. With that resolve, Chojuro did one last move. Naruto. Meanwhile, Naruto was looking at the beautiful Mei Terumi. Her looks, as beautiful as they are, showed the other side of her. Naruto said, Mei-san, why do you have such animosity towards me being an Uzumaki? I know the world isn't friendly, but I did absolutely nothing to you. What Mei heard, however, I know you aren't a girlfriend. She was thinking in her head, who does this blonde hottie thinks he is? I can get with any guy I want to. I'll teach this punk who he is messing with. She said in a sickly sweet voice, Naruto, I'm going to kill you. She rushed Naruto with amazing speed. She did a spinning leg kick to Naruto's head. Naruto ducked and did a sweeping leg kick. She did a back flip and threw 3 senbons at Naruto. Naruto, of course, got out of the way. He threw 2 kunai at the redhead. She surprised him when she took the kunai out of the air. She said, Well, are we going to do this all day? Show me the worth of those worthless Uzumakis. Naruto wasn't going to let this woman defame his surname, even though he didn't know what his people did. He just stood still and silently gazed his opponent. He looked into her eyes from afar and smirked, much to her ire. He said, Mei-san, why don't you show me the worth of a Kiri ninja? That did it for Mei. She threw 3 kunais at Naruto. Naruto, of course, countered by throwing 3 kunais at the kunais. Her kunais were reflected when she saw 3 more kunais coming her way. She cursed as she backflipped. This was for naught, as the supposed kunai from the battle earlier bursted into a poof of smoke. The Kagebushin that came out of the smoke launched a kick to her head. It was because of her immense reflexes that she was able to block. Naruto smirked when his other 3 kunais came out of a poof of smoke. Her eyes became wide as she saw not 1 but 4 Narutos ready to fight her. She tried to do a kick to one of the 4 Narutos. This didn't fare well as her leg was caught by one of the Narutos. The other Kagebushin did a sweeping leg kick and knocked her on her back. She did a back flip only to get an elbow to the back of her head. Her reflexes caused her to use her hands and stop the attack. She jumped over the Kagebushin only to meet another Naruto who did an axe kick. She dodged the attack with grace only to feel a kick into her ribs. It propelled her to the other side. She coughed up some blood. Naruto was about to send his Kagebushin to battle some more. That was until Naruto saw the smirk on her face. She did the tiger hand sign and said, Yotan yokai no jutsu, lava release, lava globs. She took in a deep breath and blew out a stream of hot molten lava. Naruto was able to get out of the way. Unfortunately for Naruto's Kagebushin were not so lucky. They were burned alive as fire surrounded the original Naruto. She smiled as she believed that the Uzumaki was burned to a crisp. Her eyes could not believe what they were seeing. The fire was blown away with a powerful burst of wind. She saw Naruto come out of the fire with a few licks on his shoulders and arms. He dusted of the little tongues of fire. He said in a joking manner, You know, Mei, it is truly sad that I'm from Hai no Kuni, but they don't have fire-resistant clothes. TCH. She nearly screamed out, How are you alive? She couldn't fathom it. Everything was set to the letter, but here he was cracking jokes. She wanted him 6 feet under by now. He was absolutely making her go insane. He, on the other hand, was smiling. He said, Mei, that attack is very powerful, especially for a Kiri ninja. My futon nature is very powerful. I sincerely hope that wasn't your strongest attack, or else this battle will be finished quickly. He pulled out 4 kunai and threw them at her. The kunais changed into Kagebushin. She groaned and said, "How many of those kunais do you have?" She attacked the Kagebushin and destroyed them pretty quickly. She did a spinning move in the air. She said, "Yotun, Yugon no Busher Nagar, lava style." Spinning streams of lava, she pulled out not one but 2 rods. The rods became extremely hot as the lava was coming up the rod. While she was spinning, the lava in the rod came out of a hole. This caused the lava to become streams in the air. Naruto's eyes went wide. He tried to get out of the way. He realized that it was inevitable. He did the hand sign bird and said, "Futun, Kaze Shaku, wind style, sailing wind." He did a powerful gust of wind. When the 2 elements connected, the wind was powerful enough to stop the attack. In Naruto's head he thought, "I gotta give Fox and Reaver a reward basket. Kami-sama, this lady is powerful. Shit, I got to end this quickly before the night comes. I might have to use that move quicker than expected. I haven't really tested it out, but I gotta do something." She said in a victorious tone, "I bet you weren't expecting that from a Kiri ninja either?" She truly believed that he was strong enough to keep going. She knew it was going to be over soon, so she was going to keep attacking relentlessly until he was done for. That would teach the Uzumaki scum what's what. She picked up one of her kunais and came at him with immense speed. She met him face to face to try and deliver the final blow. That was when she saw it. His eyes were not blue. They were sparkling gold. He grabbed her to stop the kunai. Her mind wasn't focused on the battle but merely his eyes. To have golden eyes anywhere, even in ninja villages, is extremely rare. To see golden eyes is 1,000,000,000 to 1. She didn't know why, but his eyes were mesmerizing. She shook out of her stupor when she saw him do the hand sign, rat, and said, "Hijitsu, Kusari Yori Tentu." Just like with Kakashi, Mei felt the chains wrap around her arms and legs. She felt as if gravity was forcing her body deep into the ground. She struggled to get free only to feel herself falling into the ground. She saw some locks on the chains. She was able to read the kanji on the locks. One said chakra on it. The other said seal on it. Her eyes went wide as she realized she couldn't use her chakra to break it. Naruto said, "This match is done, Mei. You can't break free of the chains. I'm going to finish this right now." He rushed at her with amazing speed. Her heart was beating fast as she felt death coming to her. When she looked up to see the man who was going to make the light leave her precious eyes, the man did something unorthodox. He actually kissed her. His lips locked onto hers. This caused her eyes nearly to pop out of her head. She went into shock for over a minute when Naruto pulled away. He had a blush with foxy grin on his face. She didn't say anything as she was completely immobilized. He saw that the other 2 were about to kill their enemies. Naruto said, "Kurenai, Asuma, don't kill them." They looked at Naruto as if he was crazy. Asuma voiced his opinion. "What are you thinking? Let's just end them here and get it over with." Naruto said in an authoritative voice, "No, let them live. They are not the ones we want dead. They have been fighting for the rebels. If you can't tell, then you are even blinder than I thought. Now let's go, we must reach Isen no Kuni as soon as possible." The 2 jonin sighed. They dropped their opponent and left. They didn't turn their backs as that would be stupid. Asuma was thinking more on the lines of how is it that he was told what to do by a mere genin. Before they left, Naruto turned around and looked at Mei. He said, "Bye, Mei-chan. I'll see you soon." Just before they jumped away, Naruto heard Mei scream, "I'll get you for that, Uzumaki. I swear on it." This made Naruto smirk on his victory. In his mind he thought, beat a jonin during a true battle, check. Getting your first kiss with a hot girl, check. Sweet. Still something isn't right. Why does she have such animosity towards the Uzumakis? Sarutobi is going to give me an explanation when the time is right. I guarantee it. With that, they finally reached the northern gate. Naruto sighed as bodies went flying once again. He said, "Guys, there are reasons they needed to live. It's getting late, and we reached the gate. Let's go to Isen no Kuni now." With that, Naruto and his team set off past Kiri and into the land of ice. Naruto and his team finally got out of Kiri. They were jumping tree to tree with a sense of pride for surviving. However, it was not without a casualty. Naruto has deep pains in his eyes. During his battle with Mei, he had his Dojutsu activated. This normally is not a problem. However, he must deactivate his Dojutsu before 6 o'clock p.m. If he doesn't, he will be in the predicament he is in now. He was sort of happy that he was taking the front because the other 2 could not see it. There was tension impregnating as silence filled the area. He needed to keep his mind preoccupied with something. As a result of these 2 problems, he started to strike up a conversation with the other 2. He asked, "Hey Asuma-san and Kurenai-san, how did your battles go? I know you won, but tell me about it." Kurenai saw the incredulous look on Asuma's face and frowned. He did a small chuckle and said, "There is really not much to tell. The 12 guardians are the rivals of the 7 swordsmen of the Hidden Mist. So it was refreshing in a way to beat the hell out of one of their apprentices. He is a high-ranked one too, as I remember him when he was younger. He will make a great swordsman if he doesn't, die. Naruto chuckled slightly at the extremely dry joke. The pain was there and it pulsed with every step. He winced slightly but never missed a step. He saw Kurenai and said, "How about you, Kurenai-san? How did your match go?" She sighed as she jumped. She had a frown on her face as she really didn't want to talk about it. She said, "To put it simply, it felt like I finally got vindication." That cryptic sentence made Naruto raise his eyebrow. He didn't know what she meant by that. He asked, Kurenai-san, what do you mean by that exactly?" Asuma was also curious by this. He waited for the answer along with the pain-filled Naruto. Her face simply curled up into a smirk. She said with a sense of satisfaction, "My lips are sealed." Naruto blinked for a moment but said nothing. Although pain filled his body, he was able to see that it was getting dark. What Naruto did not know or notice was that he was staggering. Kurenai, however, did notice. She thought to herself, he's staggering like no one's business. What happened during that battle with that redhead chick? It looks like more than any other regular pain. I wish I knew medical ninjutsu. Up in the tree there was a cloaked man watching in secret. His silver eye gleamed as day started to turn into night. He thought to himself, this isn't good. I'm going to have to talk to him. With that he disappeared in the wind. An hour later, Naruto saw an inn nearby. He was happy as he would be able to deal with the pain that is coursing through his body. He said, "Asuma-san and Kurenai-san, there's the inn we're going to about 5 meters away. We should be able to reach it in a couple of minutes. Let's go." When Naruto said it, it came out in a pain-filled whisper. It alerted the other 2 members of the team that Naruto wasn't anywhere near 100%. He was about 20% at most. It did not take a chakra sensor to see that Naruto's chakra level was falling drastically. He knew that the other 2 were getting alert. He said, "Asuma-san, what were your plans for the Ino Shikacho combo?" Asuma pulled out a cigarette and lit it. He took a deep breath of the tar-staining death stick. He said, "It is pretty simple. They are CIA. CIA has 2 meanings. The first, CIA is collecting information and analysis. They collect information and analyze which is real and which is bullshit. The other is simple capture, interrogate, and assassinate. It is pretty straightforward. Why do I have a feeling you see something wrong with the team's makeup?" Naruto chuckled despite the pain. He wheezed out, "You're right about one thing. Ino wears too much makeup." Kurenai and Asuma rolled their eyes. Naruto continued, "Well, the only thing I can see that's going to be a problem is the lack of medical ninjas. From what I see with medical ninjas, or the lack thereof, is that our shinobi numbers have decreased immensely. I mean, the makeup of the teams gives us the ability to incorporate medical shinobi." Kurenai asked, "How do you figure that?" Naruto replied, "I do not mean to sound sexist, but the women in the rookies except Hinata have little chakra. I mean, they care about looks, which is important, but that doesn't mean they should neglect their shinobi abilities. Honestly, I am truly fearful as to what they will be able to do. It's too early to say as they just passed their exams, but their actions should be a cause for concern. However, that is where medical ninjutsu can be highly effective. If they learn where certain veins, bones, chakra points, and nerves are, they can create offense with defense. Think about it for a moment. Konoha has been known for our powerful brute strength. That includes the Uchihas, Senjus, Hyugas, Inazukas, Sarutobi's, Jiraiya, and Minato Namikaze, etc. However, if we look at our history, there is predominantly only one Genjutsu clan. The Kurama clan has thinned out immensely. Our most powerful Genjutsu specialist after the Kurama clan is Itachi Uchiha, followed extremely close by Kurenai." She blushed at his praise. He continued, "In addition, we only have 2 swordsmen, one of whom I'm going to ask to teach me the art of Kenjutsu. Finally, we have the best medic to exist in Tsunade. Yet here we are, and the next generation doesn't even understand the concept of an all-around team." Asuma took a puff of his cigarette and said, "That's true. What I want to know is, how do you know all this information?" Naruto said in a smooth but pain-filled tone, "We all have secrets, but I'll tell you, the Konoha yearly census is very helpful." Kurenai just shook her head at his explanation. Asuma just merely grunted. He said, "Okay guys, the hotel inn is right up ahead." Naruto just nodded and went on with jumping in silence. A few seconds passed until they reached the inn. The inn was not big, as it was only a few feet tall. It was beige color. It had a dimly lit sign on the top that said Ma and Pop's Inn. Asuma took a puff of his cigarette and said, "I guess this is the place, any? It doesn't look like much of an inn, does it?" Naruto stifled a laugh. He said, "Actually, Asuma, this is a brothel. This is the only resting place for miles." Asuma didn't catch what Naruto said right away, but Kurenai sure did. She blushed a deep red. Naruto didn't know if it was from embarrassment or anger. He heard something drop on the ground. Asuma said in a slow voice, "So this is a brothel, huh?" Naruto said with as much mirth as he possible, "Yup, looks can be deceiving. Now Asuma, what I have to tell you is extremely important." To add effect to the scene, Naruto put on a serious face with killing intent behind it. Asuma saw Naruto's serious face and became alert. He said, "Okay, what is of vital importance that you must tell me?" Naruto looked deep into Asuma's eyes. It was as if Naruto's eyes pierced Asuma's soul. It unnerved Asuma a little bit. Naruto said, "Asuma Sarutobi, the message from the Hiruzen Sarutobi, the Sandaime Hokage, says you are to buy your own hooker." Asuma dropped his cigarette out of his mouth. Naruto's mouth twitched as a smile tugged on his lips. Kurenai's face started to gain a reddish hue. Naruto said, "Hey Kurenai, I heard that they have some Johns in there." Kurenai, with her deep red face, made up the distance between them and hit him in the head. Naruto howled in pain as he rubbed his ailing head. Asuma shook his head as he lit up his cigarette. He said, "Naruto, I don't know who you are anymore." Naruto countered, "How can you say you know me if we only had like 5 conversation?" Asuma said, "Touché. Anywho, I guess it's time for the boy to become a man. Are you ready to become a man, Naruto?" Naruto simply shrugged his shoulders. To be perfectly honest with himself, he felt he was still too young. He should be preoccupied with holding a girl's hand and kissing. He heard stories of some 13-year-olds going out like rabbits, but their lives were done for as the girl got pregnant. At this point, Naruto did not want to be tied down by a child just yet. Naruto said, "Nah, I'll wait for a little while. You go on ahead. I'll meet you guys in there a little bit." Asuma and Kurenai were suspicious. Kurenai said, "I'm not going in there. It's a brothel. You know how putrid the smell of sex is when you're not the one doing it. It is utterly horrendous. I'd rather sleep outside." Naruto stopped to support his body as the pain became immensely worse. Naruto was stiffly able to turn around, which did not go unnoticed. He looked deep into Kurenai's rippled red eyes. At first he said nothing. There was an impregnating silence and tension filling the air. Naruto said, "Kurenai-san, it is of great importance that we stay here for the night, and as much as you may or may not hate brothels, this particular one also serves as an inn. So please bear with the stench for one night." She countered, "What is so important that we must stay here?" Naruto turned around and headed towards the inn. Kurenai was not moving. She put her arms under her bosom. She tapped her foot indicating she was waiting for an answer. Naruto took a deep breath and said, "If you do not come and then sit out here where there are many ninjas who are ready to end you. Remember, the war is outside of Kiri also. The only territory that is neutral is here. The reason is unknown, but it is fact. Now I'm giving you 2 ultimatums. The first is you come into the brothel and have a 98% chance of living. The second is you stay out here and have a 40% of living. It's your choice." To Kurenai, it was the first time since she graduated that she felt ignorant. The fact that she didn't know a lot about the mission and this kid did landed a blow to her pride. She mentally shook out those thoughts about the leader of team is a genin wet around the ears. Even though he was a genin, if he was a squad leader she must follow. Kurenai said, "You are correct, Naruto Taicho. I am sorry for the insubordination." Naruto looked over his shoulder to look at her. To her surprise, Naruto just waved his hand. He said in his pain-stricken voice, "It's okay, Kurenai-san. You two go ahead in. I'll be with you shortly." Asuma was very suspicious as the kid has not been the same since that fight. The kid is in pain. The question is, where is it coming from? It doesn't look like it is a flesh wound or anything like that, but this is a cause from concern. If it does not get better, I might have to take over. Either way, Pops is going to have to know about this. Just like Asuma, Kurenai's suspicions were confirmed. She thought, so Naruto is in lots of pain. This is bad as he isn't saying anything. I guess this is a place where he can rest. The kid has been doing so well, but not telling us what is going on is an amateur move that can prove costly to this mission. It is something that must be discussed. I'll see how everything plays out before making an assessment of what to do about him. They walked past Naruto and went into the brothel. When he saw them disappear into the brothel, he took a deep sigh of relief. The pain did not recede as his chakra was going to his eyes, making him stumble. His power level was dropping immensely. In addition, he realized that if he did not do anything quickly, in about half an hour he would be in deep trouble. He saw that it was deep into the night, and smiled somewhat. He will at least be able to speak with Reaver. With that thought process, he walked into the brothel. To Naruto's surprise, the brothel was actually bigger in the inside. The brothel was decorated luxuriously. It had velvet red carpeting, golden walls with expensive art almost every 5 feet. There were 2 sets of stairs with the same red velvet carpeting that went to the middle landing. On the middle floor, Naruto saw that it was tiled black and white. In the middle of the middle floor there was a statue of an ice dragon with blue, ice-cold eyes. Naruto then saw the upper floor. The upper floor had a ledge coming out. It seemed to be made out of golden bars that were designed to look like dragons. Before Naruto could look any further into it, he felt two long, soft, slender arms go around his neck. This made Naruto's eyes go wide. He was put on edge as not only did this person sneak up on him without him even noticing, but she, or he was hoping was a she, was able to put her arms around him. He was caught flat-footed, and if he moved for his kunai, that could be his end. Her soft, warm breath tickled Naruto's senses. He heard a soft, smooth, feminine voice speak into his ear. "Aren't you a little too young to be in a place like this, Gaki?" Her voice was able to make a lump come up in his throat. It was as if he was stunned. Naruto opted to not move, as this is not exactly something he had a lot of experience with. What surprised Naruto is the fact that his body was not in immense pain, rather it was dull. The mysterious woman was smirking on the outside but was annoyed in the inside. She said, My, you must be young. You have that fresh face with those chubby cheeks with those whiskers marks. You are so kawaii. I could just eat you up." Naruto had the decency to blush. He could just feel her melodic voice go through his ears. All he could do was mumble, "Thank you." Her smile began to widen. She let go of Naruto's neck and turned him around. That was when he saw her. She has the look of a 30-year-old. She is about 5 feet 8 inches tall. She has ivory-colored skin. She has crimson hair with blonde streaks that goes down to her waist. She has a D-cup bust with a slender waist. She is wearing a crimson-red dress that covered her creamy, slender legs. Her face was absolutely gorgeous. She has a heart-shaped face that seems to have a permanent blush. Her eyes were a light green that seemed to sparkle. However, as Naruto looked closer, he saw that they were a little bit hollow. Naruto could empathize but didn't say anything. She is absolutely stunning. She has a soft smile on her face. Naruto looked at her as a beautiful woman, not as a slut or anything of the sort. She said in her soft voice, "Well, young man, what is your name?" Naruto relaxed at the sight of her demeanor. Naruto said, "My name is Naruto Uzumaki. May I ask what is your name, miss?" Her eyes became wide. Her eyes quickly went back to normal. She thought to herself, "He is an Uzumaki? That's impossible." She kept herself grounded and said, "Well, Naruto-san, it is nice to meet your acquaintances. My name is Mr. Suki." Naruto said, "Mr. Suki, that it is a beautiful name that matches your appearance." The mistress blushed a little bit, as it felt good to know that a boy still saw her as beautiful and not hot or anything like that. She gave Naruto a smirk and said in a soft voice, "You know flattery will not get you anywhere, Naruto-kun. I must ask though, why are you in a place like this?" Naruto then gained a somewhat serious demeanor. "Mr. Suki, I am here for an important mission from Konohagakure no Sato." Suki looked at Naruto curiously. It amazed her that this child is a ninja. He is so young, but he didn't have the normal ninja eyes. The usual ninjas she knew and saw all had the eyes of halo and dread. She could tell he hasn't done the hardest parts of being a ninja. She said to the boy, "Really now, Naruto-san, I guess they get these children younger and younger. May I ask what is the important business you are dealing with?" Naruto reached into his pocket and pulled out a scroll. He put his chakra on the scroll. The scroll started to burn a name on it. The name revealed to be Suki. Naruto's eyes went wide. He said, "Mr. Suki, my mission was supposed to reach here and give the leader a scroll. It seems as if this is for you." She nodded and said with an intrigued tone, "Indeed, Naruto-san, I am the headmistress of this establishment. What is it the yondaime wanted to inform me about?" Naruto's eyes went wide. He thought, she doesn't know. This is not good, but I got to tell her. She had her hands on her hips and had the look of, "Are you going to tell me or what?" Naruto took a deep breath and said, "Mr. Suki, I am sorry to inform you that the yondaime Hokage has passed away." She put her hand over her mouth. She could not believe that he was dead. She gasped and said in a sad-filled voice, "When did he die?" Naruto could tell she was ready to cry, but she was keeping her composure. He felt sympathy for the woman. However, this discovery has made him curious. He said, "He passed away about 13 years ago. There was a demon attack that he prevented for demolishing Konoha. It seems like you know him. If it is not too much, how did you know him?" She let a tear fall down her face. She said, "I knew the yondaime from his wife." Naruto could not believe it. The yondaime had a wife? No one ever talks about the yondaime having a wife. This is very mysterious. I'll try to pry some information out of her, but not now. I don't think I can do it today. She seems like she is too emotionally wrecked. Naruto said, "Mr. Suki, do you mind giving my team and I a room?" She wiped her eyes. She reminded herself this is still a business. However, this did bring her inquisitive side out of her. She gave Naruto a questioning look and said, "Naruto-san, where is your team? I mean no offense, but you have the look of a wet behind the ears genin." Naruto could have felt insulted but merely let it go as she was right. He was looking around for his teammates. He said, "Mr. Suki, my team consisted of a bearded man named Asuma and a beautiful woman named Kurenai." This boy kept shocking her. He was leading a team consisting of Asuma Sarutobi of the 12 Guardians and Kurenai Yuhi, the Genjutsu mistress of Konoha. She has heard many stories about their triumphs. This made her have to ask how powerful is this kid to not only be in the same group as those two but to be their leader. She said, "Naruto-san, what level are you?" Naruto smirked as the pain was feeling like it was disappearing. He waved his hand as he said, "I meant to tell you that I don't really care for formalities. You can just call me Naruto. As for your question, I am what you say a wet behind the ears genin." To add to insult, he gave her his best foxy grin. She was frozen in place. The order was always Jonin lead Chunin, Genin, and Jonin. Chunin lead Chunin and Genin. Genin could only lead Genin on very rare occasion. She never ever heard of a fresh out of the womb Genin leading not one but two elite Genin. She shook her head and said, "How you are the leader of this group is extremely unorthodox. However, since you were given the scroll, I guess it is true. You can have 3 rooms, as we have a lot of rooms vacant tonight. I did see your teammates a few moments ago. If I'm not mistaken, they are in the kitchen. My servants will retrieve them at once." She clapped her hands. Soon 2 beautiful women came from the middle level. They looked like twins in their French-made uniform, except the one on the right had red hair, and the one on the left had blue hair. The mistress said, "Ami and Yumi, please retrieve Asuma Sarutobi and Kurenai Yuhi for the dining hall." The 2 women bowed and said in unison, "Hi." The 2 disappeared as fast as they appeared to complete the mission. Naruto was sporting a huge blush on his whiskered face. Suki just smirked at this and started to tease him. "Naruto, they are a little too old for you. Wait a few years, then you can have them all to themselves." Naruto blushed a deep red. He could be the most stoic person, but when your hormones are calling, it is hard to ignore them. She laughed at his expression. With a snap of her fingers, 2 keys appeared in her hand. She said, "Now Naruto, your room is room 340. It is on the top floor. Don't worry about your team, we'll take care of them. Tomorrow morning I want to speak to you about future arrangements with Konoha and things of that nature. Okay?" Naruto nodded and said, "Okay, Mr. Suki, I will meet you tomorrow if I do not see you tonight." He bowed and went upstairs. When he turned around, she just looked at where that boy stood. She sighed as she said to no one in particular, "This kid has a deep resemblance to him, but has the surname Uzumaki. Something is off, and I'm going to get to the bottom of this." Naruto finally reached his room. He opened the door to his room. It looked like the room has not been used in years. It was simply a bed with 2 lamps, with a TV and a window. Naruto, however, felt the pain come back. He closed his eyes as the pain coursed through his body. He went into lotus. He closed his eyes and concentrated on the task at hand. As he concentrated on unlocking his Tenketsu points, the ground around him started to shake. A transparent blue light started to cover Naruto. At the same time, a bloody crimson light started to creep in and mix with the blue light. As he concentrated even more, the blue and red lights were swirling around him as if they were fighting each other. Slowly another light was coming. It was bright white and glowing. For some reason, the leader of this team has not 1 but 3 different chakras flowing through him. He sighed as he tried to regulate his body's chakra flow. He was surprised that he was alive. It has been 20 minutes since he started. He has opened up about 75% of his Tenketsu points. He was happy that no one was around to question what is going on. A few minutes later, all the Tenketsu points in Naruto's body glowed bright blue as the appearance became like spheres. His eyes were glowing blue. Soon the light disappeared into nothingness. Naruto sighed as closed his eyes. A few seconds later, Naruto opened his eyes to see they are silver. He said, "Go no one in particular, that is extremely painful. I got to make sure that I remember the time." Soon there was a flutter in the wind. The crimson curtain started to move. Naruto did not move as he knew who it or what it is. Soon a dark cape was floating in front of Naruto. Soon the cape started to spin when a black light appeared. Naruto closed his eyes to shield himself from the light. The light died down and a person appeared in the cloak. Naruto said, "I've been waiting to talk to you, Reaver." The bottom of the cape just merely moved side to side. The person named Reaver did not move. He was silent as the hood covered his face. The one named Reaver said nothing as the wind blew wildly. A second later, a silver light gleamed from the hooded figure's face. Reaver began to speak. "Good evening, young one. I see that we are not in Konohagakure no Sato. Are you possibly on a mission?" Naruto nodded. This caused the cloaked figure to continue. "I see. If I am not mistaken, this is your first mission, which is a cause for a celebration. Before Naruto could say anything, Reaver kept speaking. This is great, as most genin do not get to the chance to have a mission unless there is a war going on. If my memory serves me correctly, Konoha is in peacetime. So that makes me wonder, how is it possible that you are on mission when not even a week ago you were an academy student? Naruto sighed as he knew that this was Reaver's way of asking questions. He said, well, Reaver, it goes like this. I beat my sensei, Kakashi Hatake, for our examination. I stabbed him in the kidney, making him incapacitated. It has been a custom of Konoha to have the senseis of each team to do a mission together. It is supposed to be a building exercise for the senseis to help teach the students. Just like the old saying says, it takes a village to raise a child. However, because Kakashi has become inactive, they needed a replacement. They originally wanted me to explain my advancement, but I wiggled out of it using politics, as you have taught me. As a result, they put me on this team. The next day I was made leader of the team because of some actions that I do not want to get into. Reavers, I became raised. This was very interesting. This was not why he was here though. He said, well, that is a very interesting story. It's pretty amazing that you were able to beat Kakashi Hatake. He is the man with over 1,000 jutsus. Congratulations on becoming a leader of the senseis. That is definitely an achievement. However, that is not why I am here. There is this feeling that there might have been a fight recently. Naruto started to become suspicious. As it is, Reaver is here. Not only that, but he kept asking questions, which is not Reaver's style. He said, yeah, I fought this jonin named Mei of Kirigakure. Reaver has been playing cat and mouse to get the information he need. He had to admit Naruto has grown. He still need to grow up some more, but that is amazing for a kid his age. He said, that is great that you were able to beat a jonin that isn't from Konoha. It must have been taxing on your mind and body. A lot chakra must have spilled, true? Naruto nodded. Reaver continued, well, when your mind was being taxed, usually a person's Kekkei Genkai activates for survival. Naruto's eyes widened. He realized Reaver knows about his Dojutsu activating. He also realized that his silver eyes were activated. He saw Reaver was waiting for an explanation. He knew what he must do. He said, Reaver, I activated the Phoenix Dojutsu during the battle, but I didn't know what time it was. So when it hit 6 o'clock, I did not stop the chakra in my eyes. In essence, the Phoenix Dojutsu and the Raven Dojutsu were in a battle. This is exactly what Reaver was afraid of. As Naruto was explaining what was going on and the pain he felt, Reaver's mind went to somewhere else. This is not good at all. There was supposed to be a medium to be able to make a perfect transfer. The Kyuubi's chakra was supposed to be able to filter to transfer one to the other. Naruto's seal is fine, but that doesn't explain why. He is the chosen one. Could we be wrong? Right now Naruto needs to be trained in some other jutsus. I will tell father of this discrepancy. It felt like my chakra was contorting and bending to a point where I could not move. It was as if I was going to die. Reaver, are you even listening? Reaver said, Naruto, this is a very serious matter. I understand that you can feel I wasn't listening, but that is not of importance. I need you in the coming days to talk to the Kyuubi. Naruto usually never questioned his sensei's command, but this one needed to be questioned. Reaver sensei, what is the importance of me talking to the Kyuubi? What does he have to do with anything? Originally Reaver didn't say anything. He just peered into Naruto's eyes. He said, it is of vital importance. You need to be strong enough to talk it. That is all I'm going to say about it. In addition, today is the day that you receive the Your Element Jutsus. I will be back in a few days and I want to see the jutsus completed. With that, Reaver handed Naruto a scroll. Naruto's eyes were wide. This must really be important, as Reaver usually explained when he gave an order. This put Naruto on edge. He didn't know what to do. Reaver said, unfortunately I must leave as I have to visit my father. I hope you do not fail me, little brother. With that, Reaver disappeared in a black swirl, leaving a very confused Naruto in awe. Naruto looked at the scroll in his hand. Naruto knew it was a new set of jutsus, but that was not what was taking up his thoughts. It was this thought that he had to talk to the Kyuubi. He didn't know what to say exactly. What do you say to a big fox? How do you do, Kyuubi? The name is Naruto, and I'm your master. Okay, that will work out really well. Sure, I could possibly get whacked around or get mauled, but at least I'll sir dash dot. Naruto's thoughts were interrupted by a knocking on his door. He put his scroll in the drawer next to him. He said, who is it? He heard a soft feminine voice reply, Naruto-kun, it is Kurenai. Can I come in? This made Naruto's eyebrow rise. It was weird for him to have any visitors. It is especially weird for Naruto because it was woman knocking on the door. He got up and opened the door. Naruto's eyes became wide. Kurenai was wearing a red lacy brow that barely covered her bust. As Naruto's eyes looked further down, he saw she had matching red panties. She had her hair down as she glistens in sweat. Her breathing was shallow as she was panting. Naruto's eyes wandered when he saw a single sweat drop slowly go down her body from her neck. Naruto could see her flushed red face looking right at him. Naruto's heart was basically jumped out of his chest. He tried to keep a calm composure, but was failing miserably. He said in a nervous voice, "Hi Kurenai-san, how may I help you?" Kurenai looked at him with a cute but guilty face. To Naruto it made her sexier than ever. She said in a seductive, "Naruto-sama, I would like to apologize for what happened earlier. Would you mind if I can come in?" Naruto knew it would be rude and very wrong to not let her in. He looked around to see if anyone can see them. When he didn't see anyone, he ushered her in. Kurenai gained a smile on her face as he walked into his room sexily. Naruto had to gulp as he saw her sway his hips. He had to loosen his collar as breathing was becoming hard. He saw her lay on the bed. He had to swallow a lump as he saw her body move like a snake. He closed the door behind him and walked towards the bed. She looked into Naruto's blue eyes and said, "Naruto-sama, I am terribly sorry for questioning your authority. It was very naughty of me. I think I should be punished. What do you think, Naruto-sama? Shouldn't I be punished for being a naughty girl?" Naruto is a lot of things. He can calculate an opponent's move. He can outmaneuver a large number of politicians. He could even haggle the toughest salesman. The one thing he could not do was ignore the signals of this woman. His mind is weak as his body is willing. As he tried miserably to be professional, his body started to think with his other head. Naruto knew what sex was. On paper it looks like point A to point B. However, when it comes to practical use, a virgin will always be a virgin. He walked over to the bed as his body became instinctive. He climbed into the bed. It was then that Naruto smelled something. He could smell her intoxicating scent. It was like a sweet vanilla with a hint of honey. The smell was driving him crazy. She slithered her way to behind him. She started to unbutton his shirt, showing his rock-hard abs. She started to rub his abs sensually. Her were on his back. She said in her soft, seductive voice, "Oh Naruto-sama, what an amazing body you have. You're so rugged and built." Her hot breath sent goosebumps down Naruto's spine. Naruto groaned from the sensations. Naruto could feel his pants getting tighter and tighter every second. He closed his eyes as the sensations were overwhelming. His eyes were opened suddenly as Kurenai started to stroke his penis. He could only grunt as she pulled it out and did small intricate circles on the underside. She whispered as she slowly licks his earlobe, "Naruto-sama, you're so big. I guess you really are the big man on campus." Naruto was about to blow as his was pulsing. Kurenai could feel it. She whispered into his ear, "Naruto-sama, go ahead and come. I want it, master. Please, baby, make me yours and only your." That was the last straw. As she stroked him, Kurenai cooed in his ear. He couldn't hold it anymore. His testicles started to tighten up. He wanted nothing more to blow his load all over her. She said, "Please Naruto-sama, there is no use holding it in. Just let it all out on me." Naruto's mind was flooded as he couldn't fight it anymore. He screamed, "I'm about to," but before he could come heard a ringing. Naruto's eyes shot up. He looked around and saw he was in his room. He was drenched in sweat as he saw the scroll on the floor. He also noticed that the hot Jonin-sensei was nowhere to be found. He was panting as he saw that the sheets were wet and sticky. He laid back down as he was trying to wrap his mind around what just happened. He couldn't believe how vivid the dream was. He could feel Kurenai's soft, smooth hands caressed his abs. He shivered in delight and pleasure. He shook his head to get the cobwebs out. He looked at what woke him up from probably the best dream he ever had. It was an alarm clock. Naruto looked at it suspiciously as he did not set an alarm clock. In fact, he didn't even remember having an alarm clock in his room. The only thing he remembered before the Kurenai fiasco was that he was going to open the scroll. He looked at the alarm clock and saw a red button at the center. He pressed the button when a hologram projected. The hologram was of Mistress Suki. The hologram form of Suki said, "Naruto-san, I would like to speak to you once you get this message. My office is located on the top floor." The hologram soon stopped. Naruto blinked as it was weird to have a hologram projection. Naruto thought to himself, "I don't know who did this, but whoever it is, he or she is an amazing Fuinjutsu master. I definitely want to learn from him or her." Naruto got up and took a cold shower to keep himself from going crazy. He got dressed with his normal ninja uniform. He said to himself, "This is going to be an interesting conversation." He walked over outside of his room. He looked to the left of him to see someone coming out of his or her room. Naruto saw the doorknob turn and opened. His eyes became wide when he saw that it was Kurenai with only a nightgown on, bending to get the new newspaper. He could not look at her the same after that encounter. For the first time in a very long time he ran as fast as he could to the elevator. Kurenai looked up to see if someone was there. She had a very flushed look that graced her face. She quickly closed the door as her dream was just as vivid as the squad leader's. Naruto reached the elevator as he panted. He could not look at her the same. He pressed the upward arrow button on the elevator. When it came down, it blinked and opened up. Naruto saw the inside of the elevator was gold. For some reason, he thought it would be pink. As he went up the elevator, his mind traveled back to the dream. He felt his penis get harder. He tried to think of many things to get himself down. Unfortunately, he could /T as he could only see Kurenai's face. The elevator opened, showing the business side of the brothel. It was basically one tunnel that seemed to end. It surprised him that it was basically made up of cubicles and one big office at the center. At the end of the supposed tunnel there was the spiral purple symbol. Naruto saw that symbol on the arm of orange jumpsuit. This has to be a coincidence. Maybe it's just a really cool symbol. Naruto started to walk to the desk. As he passed each cubicle, he saw every supposed John and prostitute was crunching numbers and working on something called 401k. He honestly could not believe that this was actually a brothel. He did not hear a fucking session at all. It was more of a homey feeling where these people actually care about each other. He finally stopped his awestruck daze when he reached the end of the desk. He saw that the desk was an auburn and mahogany mixture. He saw that there were reams upon reams of paper. He really did not know what to think of this place. He saw the black executive chair that was behind the desk has its back to him. He heard a voice coming from behind the chair. "Good morning, Naruto-san. How was your dream?" Naruto's eyes went wide at this. She pressed a button under the desk. It was then that Naruto heard a ground-breaking noise as the floors shook. He soon turned around to see a huge gate blocking the way. He could not believe that this had an indoor gate. He said with evidence of awe in his voice, "That's amazing. Who created all these seals?" Her face seemed to gain a huge smile. She said, "Well, Naruto-san, not many people know that is Fuinjutsu. Are you perhaps interested in Fuinjutsu?" She saw Naruto nod, keeping the smile on her face. She continued, "That's great, Naruto-san. Where I'm from, Fuinjutsu was a great place to learn Fuinjutsu." This made Naruto curious. He wondered if he could go there and possibly learn of their Fuinjutsu skills. He said, "Mr. Suki, where are you from, exactly?" She gained a bittersweet smile as she loved talking about her homeland. She said in her soft voice, "Well, Naruto-san, I'm fairly certain that you will not recognize or more likely know the name. The place is called Yuzushiogakure no Sato. It is the village hidden among the whirling tides. The symbol behind me is the symbol of the great village." Naruto never heard of the village, but subconsciously rubbed his arm where that symbol was located on his orange jumpsuit. This made Suki curious. She said, "Naruto-san, why are you rubbing your arm? Is there something wrong with it?" Naruto didn't even know he was doing. He said, "Nothing is wrong, Mistress Suki. It's just that I've seen that symbol before. It was on my orange jumpsuit when I was younger." This gave Suki something she hasn't had in a long time: hope. There was a small sliver of hope that Naruto could be one of the last descendants of Yuzushiogakure. She said, not portraying any signs of the emotions going through her head, "Naruto-san, by chance do you know who put that sign on you?" Naruto shook his head negatively. She sighed shortly, but kept small hope. He noticed this but said nothing about it. He did, however, want to know more about Yuzushiogakure. For some reason Naruto felt compelled to know about it. He said, "Mr. Suki, do you mind telling me about Yuzushiogakure? It sounds like a great place to live." She smiled, as it is rare to see someone interested in history, especially the role it has in history. She said with a happy smile, "Why sure, Naruto-kun. Yuzushiogakure was located in the center of the elemental nations. It had 5 main whirlpools that lead to the 5 main elemental nations." Naruto could not believe it. Naruto thought, how were they able to be at the middle of the 5 elemental nations and be considered a hidden village? Naruto asked, "Mr. Suki, how could Yuzushiogakure be considered a hidden village if it is right in the middle of all the elemental nations? I mean, it would have been a crossing place or something like that, right?" She smiled, as his curiosity is a common Uzumaki trait. She replied, "That is a very good question, Naruto-san. The only way you could find it is if you found one of the 5 whirlpools. Yuzushiogakure is hidden in plain sight. An untrained eye would not be able to find it. The whirlpools were extremely hard to find. We cleverly hid the whirlpools under rocks and boulders with a genjutsu that made it look like a small stream." Naruto was extremely surprised by this. She continued, "Yes, we were very exclusive as we had many things that are considered valuable. We did have riches such as gold, rubies, and other gems. That wasn't necessarily means that is what people wanted. We were a landmine for jutsus." Naruto asked with curiosity, what jutsus would they want? I mean, I can understand Kiri trying to get jutsus as they can prosper from the possible Suiton jutsus. Everyone else, though? It seems inconceivable to try and steal the jutsus. She waved her finger in Naruto's face. Naruto-san, you have much to learn. Uzushiogakure was once the jutsu bazaar. Yuzu had a variety of jutsus including taijutsu, ninjutsu, genjutsu, fuinjutsu, kenjutsu and even kinjutsu. We had all sorts of jutsus that could be useful for any person. Naruto said, are you serious? Uzushiogakure had all those jutsus? The ninjas from Uzushiogakure must have been extremely powerful. If I may ask, how did they die? It seemed as if Suki's smile faltered at the thought. It was a sensitive spot for her. She replied, Naruto-san, the story is quite sad. You see, the shinobi of Uzushiogakure were extremely powerful as they were masters of seals and practically any jutsu. However, they hated fighting in battles as lives become nothing but toys that break. They created these jutsus as a way to defend themselves just in case. Naruto was suspicious. It is out of the ordinary to just create jutsu to protect yourselves. If they were not into combat, why would they even need ninjas? They could have been left alone, especially since it was almost impossible to find. He asked, Mr. Suki, what would be the point of creating jutsus if your people were almost impossible to find? In addition, what would people want with Uzushiogakure to destroy it for? She smiled a little bit at his curiosity. She said with pride, Naruto-san, Uzushiogakure is the place of the six-paths sage. Konoha. In Konoha, Hayashi Hyuga was having the most amazing dream after going to bed at 6 o'clock. This was when he was woken up by an ANBU member informing him of his daughter and her team's actions. At first he was ready to rip them to pieces for the mere thought of his daughter do anything of the sort. Hayashi said, Excuse me Nico-san, but I would like to inform you that Hinataheim is in her room and most likely asleep. You must have mistaken her for someone else. However, I will go with you to see who this unmarked Hyuga is. With that, the ANBU named Nico held Hayashi's shoulder and disappeared in a swirl of leaves. When he arrived at the Hokage Tower, he was rudely surprised when the Hokage had not only the wet behind the ears teammate there but the rest of the rookies there. They were out cold from Naruto's smoke but passed it off as drunk. He heard Nico snicker at him. He was not happy to say the least. He looked around to see who else was here. He saw all of the parents of the rookies there except Team 7's. That however changed when an ANBU captain with pink hair walked in. She took off her mask showing a smooth face with emerald eyes. The look on her face made Hayashi look like Rock Lee. She saw her child passed out with the rest of them. The parents saw Naruto on the wall leaning. When the pink-haired ANBU saw him, she said, Who the fuck are you, Gaki? Naruto's clone's eyebrow went up. She resembled his female teammate. He said, Hello Ms. Hirano-san, it has been a very long time. She still didn't recognize who it was as she has been away for about 2 months. She gave him a critical eye. She pulled a kunai out of her sash but Hayashi stopped her. He said, Hirano-sama, that is Naruto Uzumaki. She looked at Naruto critiquing him. That last time she saw Naruto he was wearing an orange jumpsuit and screaming out how he was going to be Hokage. This kid was not anything like that boy. She shot Hayashi an incredulous look. She said, Hyuga-sama, that kid can't possibly be Uzumaki-san. Even if that is Uzumaki, it doesn't explain why he is here. Hayashi looked at the pink-head ANBU and she was right. Why is he here? She smirked slightly as she said, That's what I thought. Now Sandame-sama, why is it that our children are passed out on the floor? The Sandame cleared his throat, ahem, I guess everyone is here. Okay, parents of Shino Aburame, Chuji Akimichi, Sakura Haruno, Hinata Hyuga, Kiba Inuzuka, Sasuke Uchiha, and Ino Yamanaka, your children were found in front of Naruto Uzumaki's doorstep drunk. I'm going to let Naruto over here explain. Naruto unstuck himself from the wall as the parents were not happiest of people, especially Sakura's mother. He said, Good morning ladies and gentlemen. As much as I would like to be here on News of Delight, I cannot. Last night your children were drinking. Now I do not care about their drinking as it is their right to do so as they are official ninjas. The problem arose when they came to my house during the night. They believed they had the authority to question me about my capabilities. The tone in which they questioned me is not that of a friend or comrade but that of entitlement. Sakura's mom was not happy, but she needed to know more about the situation at hand. She asked Naruto, Uzumaki-san, do you mind explaining what they asked of you? In addition, how were you able to tell of their condition? Naruto closed his eyes as he answered her question, Haruno-sama, I walked past them when I was going home earlier. In essence, when they showed up to my humble abode, they had bloodshot eyes, the smell of alcohol on their breath, the slurring of their words, and the inability to keep balance. It gave me the impression they were drunk. In this state their inhibitions have dropped dramatically, showing what they truly believe they have the right to. It is disturbing on how they believe they are entitled to an explanation when they have not done anything towards receiving this privilege. When the parents heard this, they put their heads down as it was an indirect jab to them. They treated their kids as if they were royalty and were entitled to anything they saw was a problem that they have created. Naruto continued, "It is unfortunate that they have broken some laws." The parents gave Naruto an incredulous look. Hayashi started to have a few creases on his usual stoic face. He tapped his hands on the desk, reeling himself in. He asked, "Naruto-san, may I ask what laws did they break? This can help us understand the situation that much better." Naruto replied, "It is simple, Hayashi-sama. I am a Tokubetsu genin, which ranks higher than a regular genin. For they demanded that I not only explain myself to them and demand me to know my abilities is classed as insubordination. In addition, when I asked them to leave, they did not. It was late last night and the civilians are in bed. This also caused disturbance of the peace as I live on the civilian side of town. Now this has caused a lot of concern in my neighborhood as the civilians there never had to see 3 or more ninjas at one time. So they are kind of fearful that something was wrong." Silence filled the room. Insubordination of any kind is a hefty crime in the shinobi world. It is the less concentrated form of treason. The punishment of such a crime, especially of this kind, has many repercussions. This goes triple for a clan heir. They could lose their status, a mass amount of clan jutsu, a portion of the clan funds, to a lesser extent slaves, and if it is high treason, they could lose their lives. This was not a big insubordination case, but still, if word got out that their heirs have done this, many problems will come to face. Shikaku was trying to figure out how they could get out of this with a lesser blow. He muttered under his breath, "Troublesome." Naruto saw their faces and thought to himself, "Checkmate." He said, "It is unfortunate that this situation had to come into light. It is also unfortunate that the minimum damage by law is a collection of jutsus varying from B rank to S rank. However, there is a silver lining to this. I have a solution that can be beneficial for everyone involved and even the village." The Hokage and the parents were interested as to what this solution would be. Naruto has been a surprising factor in these past events in Konoha. The Hokage knows this is a clone, but that fact itself is enough reason to be very curious about Naruto's sudden development. "I will find out soon enough. I just have to play this angle correctly," he said. "Well, Naruto-kun, please enlighten us what you think their punishment should be." Naruto's clone knew something was not right with the Hokage's decision, but right now he has a mission to complete. He said, "Well, parents, as you know, there is an old saying, it takes a village to raise a child. It seems that with this generation the village part is missing. It is not any of your faults, as the ninja activity has spiked after the Kyuubi attack, Kumogakure's surprise attack, and Uchiha massacre. As a result, paranoia has filled the village. It also put you guys in particular into a situation in which you work 10 to 12 hours if you are even in the village. You unintentionally lose time to train your kids in not only the way of the shinobi but the way of the civilians. How it is now, there is a tear between the shinobi and civilians. The shinobi believe that the civilians have it easy and the civilians vice versa." The look on Ms. Haruno's was extremely passive. Her fingers were tapping on the desk throughout this introduction to this solution. She was not amused, as Naruto was basically playing with their intelligence on how to raise their children. There were a few things that put her on edge. 1 is messing with her family, especially Sakura. 2 is playing with her intelligence, and 3 getting awakened early in the morning after a mission. She said in an all too calm voice, "Uzumaki-san, I must ask, what experience do you have in this situation? I mean, let's be really honest, you are just a step over them, but you act like you are a seasoned veteran who has seen not a single one of the ninja wars. In addition, who are you to say what is the best for our children, when I bet that you have not even taken a life yet? Taking a life is by no means an achievement, but it is a part of the shinobi lifestyle. Yet if you have not been through any of the things that make a shinobi, how can you preach to a group of veterans here who have been through it all, how to raise our children or almost anything?" Damn, she got him in a bind. Let's see where this goes. If it gets out of hand, I'll take care of it. "What is your move, Naruto?" the Hokage thought as he kept his eyes closed. Naruto's clone was cornered but had a risky move up his sleeve. He said, "You are right, Haruno-sama, I am not a seasoned veteran or for that matter a father. However, the question is, what do you know about Sakura?" A cold chill went throughout the room. Naruto might have opened up Pandora's box. The parents started to move away from Ms. Haruno slowly. She gained a deep dark stare at Naruto's clone. Her killing intent that has been at a medium level spiked, causing the unconscious rookies to stir and sweat. She said in a deathly low voice, "What about Sakura-chan?" Naruto's clone barely had enough energy to stay around. It took a deep breath and said, "Haruno-sama, your daughter is on my team. She has a combination of 3 jutsus. They are the Henge, Kawamiri, and Bushin. Even that combination is not good enough to survive in the shinobi world. Meanwhile, her supposed rival has those mind abilities. She fawns over Sasuke Uchiha, which is fine in my book, as she is maturing into a young woman and crushes will come and go. However, it becomes a problem when she spends most of her time watching him or reading books and not does much training. I love books as they are a great source of information, but books do not help get your chakra levels up or teach you how to execute taijutsus. Sakura does not know any taijutsu styles other than the academy style. I know for a fact that she doesn't train in any ninjutsu or genjutsu because I asked her what did she to major in Tai, Nin or Gen, and she said that she doesn't train as Sasuke would save her if she was in trouble. To be honest with you, that unnerved me. We all want to know that we can trust our teammates. That is not an excuse to not train. She can and will be a liability if this thinking process stays the same. Then I must ask Harino-sama, how can we gain experience as a group if she can't defend herself or us if we are in trouble? This is the way it is unless we change it. Ms. Haruno was not happy at all because of the way Naruto threw Sakura to the dogs. The thing is, he is right. Sakura was not strong or trained. She has been so busy with the ANBU that she doesn't have time to help train Sakura. She said, although I want to rip you to shreds for what you said about Sakura-chan, I am willing to listen to this plan of yours. It better be good or not even the Hokage save you. Naruto gained a smile on his face. He said, thank you, Harino-sama. Well, for this plan to work I need you parents' support 100%. As I said before, Konoha has become two different entities. One is the civilians and the other is shinobi. The shinobi have been working hard, especially after the Uchiha massacre. Many are angry that the civilians think that they are entitled to everything. Meanwhile, the civilians think that the shinobi have too much authority. Konoha is a place where we are one community. We cannot change the past, but we can change the future. This is where your children will come into play. They can be delegates to the civilians by doing a number of things. My idea is to let the clan heirs do D-ranked missions within Konoha for free without using their ninja skills. I know that this takes away the money away from the genin. The benefits of Part A is that it not only humbles the rookies, but in fact it also makes the civilians see that we are family who help each other and not ask for it. In addition, it will help the rookies to see how hard it is to be a civilian. They will also talk and learn from the civilians who are bankers, writers, and so many more. In time, the relationship between the clan heirs and hopefully all genin in the future will be able to connect with the civilians. The second part of the plan is to have the clans connect with each other. For example, Team 8 has the Hyuga Princess, the Aburame Prince, and the Inuzuka Prince. There could possibly be days in which one of the particular clans invites that group into their home to discuss anything comes to mind. The Hokage clapped his hands. That is an excellent plan, Naruto-kun. It would help keep us as merged society. We could implement the plan as early as tomorrow. Parents, you will watch over your children for the first week to make sure everything goes smoothly. Haruno-san, you will serve as Team 7's mother of sorts. However, your team will not start until Naruto-kun comes back from his mission. Ms. Haruno blinked. The Uzumaki was supposedly right in front of her, but he is on a mission. It didn't make sense to her as it is extremely taxing to create a bushin of any of the elements that can survive for 5 minutes. She said, okay Hokage-sama, I'm done with the tricks. Who is he really and where is Naruto Uzumaki? The Sandai mentally cursed at the pink-haired parent. He was trying to emascue in the Kagebushin's posture. He said, Haruno-san, this is Naruto Uzumaki's Kagebushin. The real Naruto is currently on mission. However, this does bring up the question as to why is the clone still around. He looked at Naruto's clone who was still having a passive face. Naruto's clone said, it is because of the original Naruto. Naruto. The original Naruto sneezed as Mistress Suki finished her tale. She said, well Naruto-san, I would hope that you come and visit soon. Even if you don't, I would like to give you something for you. Naruto gave her a curious look. It wasn't every day that you'd get something especially for nothing. He was already given the knowledge about Fuinjutsu, and about Yuzushi-Ogakure. Maybe Reaver and Fox know about it. She is a bit suspicious for telling me about it. Now what is she going to give to me? She reached into her desk and pulled out an ancient scroll. He grabbed it cautiously to stop it from crumbling to pieces. He inspected it looking for any seals. He saw there was a seal that Naruto never seen before on it, causing him to look at her. She said, very good Naruto-san. That is a summoning scroll from Yuzu. I never was able to open it, but I have a feeling that you might be able to. Take it with you and be safe. Your teammates are waiting for you downstairs. Here is a map to get to Isa no Kuni. You can get there by the afternoon if you leave now. Naruto got up and bowed to her. He said, thank you so much, Mistress Suki. I hope we do cross paths once again. May Kami keep you safe. Naruto turned and walked away. When she saw Naruto go, she had a wistful look on her face. She pulled out the scroll that Naruto gave her from Sarutobi. She opened it again, looking at the 4 words that truly mattered, he is their son. Naruto was downstairs looking at his team. Asuma was hitting on one of the prostitutes. Kurenai was waiting patiently to leave this place as she felt uncomfortable. he said. Good morning, Kurenai-san and Asuma-san. Did any of you get any sleep? Kurenai had a blush cover her face while Asuma had a satisfied look on his face. Asuma said, I don't know about you two, but I had an amazing night. I'm fresh and ready to go. How about you, Kurenai? She shrugged as the blush of her dream was vividly replaying in her head. She said, I had an okay sleep. I kept tossing and turning. I think the bed was very lumpy and springy. I kept rocking back and forth. Naruto, how about you? Naruto caught on to every innuendo and had a red face. He at first started to stammer but calmed himself down. He said, I had a great sleep. I felt like I had the greatest massage of my life. My shoulders and neck feel amazing. I don't know about you, Kurenai, but I felt the bed was just right. Anyway, since we are ready to go, let's get going. Ise no Kuni is only a few miles away, we can be there within a few hours. Did everyone eat? They both nodded. Naruto continued, good, because we are not stopping until we get there. With that, Naruto and his team left. A few hours had passed and the team was about to reach Ise no Kuni. Naruto said, guys, we are about to reach Ise no Kuni in a few minutes. Kurenai, I know you will hate this a lot, but you have to be seen as submissive to me. It is not something I take in pleasure in doing to you, but it is important to Konoha. I hope you understand. The look on Kurenai's face basically told Naruto was not happy but that she would obliged. Naruto gave her a sad smile and said, hey Kurenai-san, how about I take you out to a dinner when we get back to Konoha? Kurenai and Asuma could not believe what they were hearing. Naruto just asked Kurenai Yuhi, the Ice Queen of Konoha, out to dinner as casually as if it was night and day. She stumbled as most of her admirers would do everything from flowers to some extreme things that she would never speak of again. This was first time in a very long time that she met someone who that was direct with her. She thought, it probably is a friendly date. Why not? She said, sure Naruto-san, a friendly date. Naruto just smirked as he said, sure. Naruto stopped suddenly. In front of them was Ise no Kuni. The city was surrounded by a huge white glacier. They saw that there is a door with a dragon's eyes peering at them. It had 2 ring knockers. Naruto said, okay, I guess this is the place. He grasped on the door ring and knocked on the door. He moved back just in case. Soon the ground under the team started to shake and rattle. The doors started to open inward, showing the whole new world, also known as Ise no Kuni. Ise no Kuni shocked the 3 Konoha ninjas. When they walked in, they saw that they were standing above the country. Ise no Kuni was covered in icicles. The whole city was made up of buildings that were of different shapes, mainly squares and cylinders. These buildings were glass-tinted blue. Upon further investigation, the ninjas saw cable lines that seemed to reach to every part of the country with platforms. When they looked down to the streets, to that it was covered in sheets of white snow. The funny thing is that it was not even snowing. They saw people bustling through the streets as they saw cable cars going place to place. They were stopped, however, by a group of soldiers. The soldiers were all about 6 feet tall. They each were extremely muscular. They wore an ice blue-colored uniform that had Ise no Kuni on it. The one in the front is the leader of the group. He is about 6 feet, 6 inches tall. He was extremely muscular with obvious scars around his body. He had a pointy face with a black goatee. His right eye was jet black while his left eye was covered with an eye patch. He had a huge cleaving sword on his back with a crescent moon-shaped dagger. He said in a deep grunt of a voice, Ice Delta 3, arrest these 3 travelers. Make sure you check them for everything. Naruto and Kurenai pulled out their kunais while Asuma pulled out his trench knives. The 3 ninjas were quickly surrounded, forcing them to get into a triangle defense. Naruto said, okay guys, I have absolutely no idea why they are trying to arrest us, but I know what we're going to do about it. Asuma-san, can you block the 2 that are in front of me? I need about 10 seconds. Asuma replied, I got your back, Gaki. Go for it. With that, Naruto started to make the 2-finger crossed hands sign. The guards saw that he was about to do something and rushed Naruto and his team. Asuma smirked slightly as he put wind chakra into his trench knives. Kurenai pulled out her other kunai and got into her defensive stance. However, before the fight could start, a deep grunt of voice started to speak. Taicho Nami Ichiyana, stop this at once. The now named leader turned his head to see a cloaked figure. He snarled at the person as he wanted to capture this team. He pulled his dagger about to continue what he was about to start. However, before he could do anything, the person took his hand out of the cloak and yelled, Ichiyana, I told you to stop kamikaze Tsumatai no Hira, palms of icy divine wind. The cloaked person forced his palm out towards Ichiyana. A powerful icy wind blew the man into the door. Naruto and his team looked at this cloaked man in awe. Meanwhile, the remaining members of Ichiyana's team went down on one knee and looked at the cloaked one. The cloaked one said, Taicho Ichiyana, you and your team will be punished for disobeying an order. Now pick up your captain and bring him to headquarters. I'll bring these guests to our leader. I expect to see your captain when he wakes up. The soldiers got up and said in unison, "Hi." They grabbed the leaders and went to the cable cars. The cloaked man turned his head towards Naruto and his team. They were surprised at how powerful this man was. They watched his demeanor towards them. The cloaked man said, "You three, can you come with me, please? I'm very sorry for Ichiyana's lack of hospitality. I will take to our leader at once." With that, Naruto and his team followed this man towards a cable car. Naruto could not believe what these cable are used with. The cable car's operating system consisted of gears and seals. Naruto could see that the power source of the cable cars was actually shards of ice. Naruto saw the man touch the green button and the cable car started to move. Naruto said, "Excuse me, sir, what different seals did you use?" The cloaked person said nothing. Naruto was slightly annoyed that he was ignored. He leaned back on the seat that was offered to him. When the cloaked man saw that Naruto was sitting down, he started to speak. "Sir, please put your seatbelt on just in case something goes wrong." Narrator's eye started to twitch but nonetheless put it on. The car ride was silent and pleasant. They looked down and saw the different people and places. They looked at how peaceful they were looking. Soon they felt an erupted halt. The cloaked man said, "We're here. Now come to the step below. I will meet you shortly." Naruto got up and bowed. He said, "Thank you, sir. We will see you inside." They got off the car, albeit a little shaky. When they got off the car, the cloaked man thought to himself, "Yes, Naruto Uzumaki, I think it will be a fine time to see how powerful you really are. It is high time to see if you are the one." Naruto and his team saw the palace inside of Aisu. The place was dark blue. The place had about 20 or so Roman columns that glowed. What surprised Naruto and his team even more was that in those columns, there were swords and different weapons. The throne was golden with a regally blue interior. Behind the throne, there was the kanji for Aisu no Kuni surrounded by a large dragon. As they looked at the ceiling all around, their ice crystals were dangling like a diamond chandelier. They were interrupted by a rather large cough. "Excuse me, can I help you?" The voice seemed to be that of a teenage whose voice just started to crack. Naruto turned around and saw the man. He replied, "Yes, sir, I was looking for Toshiro Hitsugaya. Do you know when he will be in?" The man smirked as he said, "You're looking at him. There he was, the leader of Aisu no Kuni. Toshiro Hitsugaya is short, has turquoise eyes and short, spiked, white hair. It has caught many of the elemental leaders off guard as he looks the age of a 12-year-old, 16 at best. He wears a standard sleeveless feudal lord's haori with a green sash around his shoulders, held together by a round clip. The sash holds his sword sheath in place on his back and is tied to it at either end. The sash has Aisu no Kuni written in transparent white to signify the country." Naruto and his team bowed to him. Hitsugaya just rolled his eyes as he sat down in his throne. He said, "Rise, I do not need everyone mocking me because I'm short." Naruto and Asuma caught on to the joke. The leader of the Aisu no Kuni continued, "From the symbol on your headbands you must be the envoy for Konohagakure no Sato. It seems we have something that must be discussed. Now, who is the leader of this group?" Naruto simply stood up, causing Toshiro's eyebrow to rise. Toshiro was intrigued that the boy was the one who stood up. He said, "This is interesting. You, child, must have been in the ANBU as I do not recognize you in the newly updated bingo book. What is your name?" Naruto said, "Hitsugaya-sama. My name is Naruto Uzumaki. No, I'm not an ANBU." This definitely caught Toshiro off guard. He looked at Naruto with a critical eye. His eyes are bright, which is extremely unusual for a ninja. He looks so young, as if he was only the tender year age of 13. This boy, however, has a lot of power and potential, but it is highly untamed. I wonder if this boy is really the one. Well, I'll see just how great he really is." He said, "This is interesting indeed. It is great to finally meet you, Asuma Sarutobi and Kurenai Yuhi. I have heard great stories about you too." The two Jonin senseis bowed at the praise of another daimyo. Hitsugaya turned his head to see the cloaked figure, who helped Naruto and his team earlier. Toshiro said, "Hello, Hiraimiru. I see that you helped the Konoha Anvil." The newly named Hiraimiru took off the cloak. Hiraimiru appears as a tall, young man with long, wild, teal-green hair, an icy blue X across the center of his face, and gray eyes. Hiraimiru appears as a stoic and silent man dressed in loose samurai-like garments that consist of a dark green and purple chest plate underneath a light purple kimono with a chain around his waist and a dull gold adornment on his chest that is similar to the design on Hitsugaya's sash. His arms and legs are covered in ice shields. Hiraimiru has a sword on his back. It looks like a normal katana with the exception of the guard, which is in the shape of a four-pointed bronze-colored star. Its hilt is light blue and sheath dark blue. The sheath completely dissolves when he draws his sword. The sword is somewhat longer than most swords, at about 1.4 meters long. It is amazing because it is taller than the leader of Isa no Kuni, Hitsugaya. He said in his usual stoic voice, "Hi, Hitsugaya-sama. There was a small incident with Captain Ichiyana in which he believed that he had a higher authority than I. As a result, I had to put him in his place. There will be repercussions for his actions. I will talk to you about this later." Toshiro nodded his head, understanding the situation. Toshiro looked at the envoy and said, "This is Hyarinmaru. He is the second in command for Isu. He basically runs the military and the protection of Isu while I run the government and the technological advancements. Anyway, we will." Someone buzzed through the door. Naruto recognized that he was from that Ichiyana guy's group. He said in a frantic voice, "Hitsugaya-sama, Captain Ichiyana has issued a challenge to you. He wants to take the crown away from you and banish Hyarinmaru from Isa no Kuni." The Konoha team eyes were opened by this. What the hell is going on here? Never in my time with the Guardians have I seen someone just up and challenge the leader for control. It's like they are bandits. It is also peculiar for anyone to do this while there are guests here. This is not good at all, and I hope the Gaki doesn't do anything stupid. Asuma thought as he was looking at the Gaki. Kurenai was having the same train of thinking. She and Asuma were looking at Naruto, who was more fixated with Toshiro and Hyarinmaru's faces. This mission keeps getting better, she thought. Naruto didn't say anything as he saw Hyarinmaru clench his hands into a fist and Toshiro with the blank face. I don't like this at all was all she could think. Toshiro got out of his chair easily. Naruto saw that he was an inch or shorter than the Isa leader. When he walked past Naruto, he felt a shortness of breath. It was as if Toshiro had this cold and icy feel about him. He made it to the door easily. However, there's someone in his way. Hyarinmaru said, "I am sorry, Toshiro-sama, but I cannot allow you go face Ichiyana. He has been a thorn and pest. I will finish him with ease." However, the Isa leader was not having any of it. He peered deep into Hyarinmaru's stoic but angry eyes. The two didn't move a muscle as each were waiting to see who would move first. Soon Toshiro closed his eyes. He said, "Hyarinmaru-kun, move out of the way for I can take care of Ichiyana properly. Take the Konoha envoy to the main square." "Sir, I will not." "That is an order, Hyarinmaru. Now do as I say." Hyarinmaru did not move as Naruto watched with interest. Soon there was a cool, almost ice-cold air filtering the room. The Isa leader had a deep, serious gleam in his eyes. The ice-cold air floated around Toshiro. Next thing Naruto, Asuma, and Kurenai saw was that Toshiro disappeared in a swirl of ice. Asuma said, "I have been doing A-ranked missions for the better part of 10 years. I have fought 5 to 10 jonin at one time. I have seen daimyos slap each other. I have seen so many high-ranked people doing crazy things, but this is absolutely ridiculous. I have never seen someone trying to overthrow the daimyo while another country's envoy is there." He thought to himself, this is not by any means a coincidence. Kurenai nodded as she has done some business-related missions. Naruto of course watched the scene as any fresh genin would in awe. Hyarinmaru clenched his fists so tight blood started to seep out of his palms. The blood started to turn into ice. Hyarinmaru said, "Let's go." Hyarinmaru's voice was not of stoicism but that of anger and annoyance. Naruto and his team followed suit. They reached down the stairs to see the main square erupting in fury. Shouts of the people called for Ichiyana's death and for the reign of the current king. Hyarinmaru walked the Konoha envoy down the stairs. Naruto watched as the crowd, who were usually quiet and peaceful, started to become rowdy and ready to fight. They finally reached the square. Naruto's team saw Ichiyana and Toshiro standing in the middle. Toshiro had a stoic look on his face. Ichiyana, however, had a smirk on his face. The icy wind blew as their clothes moved. Naruto watched in interest as he wanted to see what will happen. Ichiyana started to speak in his taunting voice, "Hello, Toshiro team, it has been a long time." Toshiro decided to not to say anything as he was assessing the situation. Ichiyana merely raised an eyebrow as he continued, "Oh, now the ever-gracious Isa daimyo cannot say hello to his subordinate. Do not worry, citizens, your new ruler will never treat you that way." The crowd went into a blaze of fury. However, Toshiro was still silent. The smirk on Ichiyana's face never left. He said, "It seems that you are arrogant as usual. It will be a great day once there is a new change of scenery." Toshiro just closed his eyes as the people waited for him to defend himself. Toshiro grew a half-smirk, causing Ichiyana to frown slightly. Toshiro said, "Ichiyana, it is pretty sad. I heard you speak 3 times today, and I've only heard you say that you need to change the way Isa is run. However, that is all you can say. Whatever you feel about me personally is irrelevant, but how Isa is being run is great. I have watched you work and I personally see that your production is less than productive for Isa. It does concern me that worthlessness to the people of Isa no Kuni from you has not been documented." Ichiyana mentally scowled at this. Toshiro continued, the fact of the matter is you do not know how to run a country. For that matter, I believe that you would bring Aizu back to the Dark Ages. Tell me, Ichiyana, for the last 20 years what have done to make Aizu a better place? If I'm not mistaken, it was nothing. So Ichiyana-san, if you want to battle me for the leadership of Aizu, you must understand the rules. This caused Ichiyana to smirk. Ichiyana said, oh yes, Toshiro-sama, I assure you that I know the rules. That is why it is highly fortunate that Konohagakure no Sato has sent an envoy. This caused Toshiro and the Konoha envoy's eyebrows to rise up. Asuma thought, I knew that this was no coincidence. What is this guy up to? Toshiro was thinking along the same lines, what is he thinking? Ichiyana smirked as he said, oh Toshiro-sama, it seems like you are confused as to why this envoy is relevant. Well, let me explain to you. As you have said, I have been in the military for 20-some-odd years. In the Aizu Book of Laws, Chapter 8, Amendment 17, the first paragraph says, and I quote, the military is the backbone of Aizu no Kuni. As a result, a military official of 15 years who has risen through the ranks to hold the title of captain and the absence of an heir to the throne will be the next. Amazing, is it not? The crowd became silent as they awaited Toshiro's response. Toshiro was quiet at first. Then he said, you are correct about this, but it still does not explain why Konoha is relevant in this. This caused the Ichiyana to have a full-blown smirk on his face. He said, well Toshiro-sama, as easy as it is to fight you, I would much rather take it another way than fighting you. You are simply beneath me. In fact, your family believes so. Toshiro's eyebrows were raised more so in curiosity than anger. What do you mean my family believes so? Ichiyana replied in a matter-of-fact tone, Toshiro-sama, I see you do not remember what your great-grandfather did to take hold of Aizu no Kuni. The law is called Hitsugaya's Law of Foreign Allegiance. You see, according to the Diary of the Ice King, the leader before the Hitsugaya dynasty was the Uchiyo Yosuke. He ruled Aizu with an iron fist. Your family was not originally natives of Aizu but of Yuzushiogakure no Kuni. Your grandfather was actually a jonin named Yoshiro Hitsugaya, also known as Tsurara no Kaku, king of the icicle. He was delegate who wanted to trade with Aizu no Kuni, which went against Yosuke-sama's rule of no trade but pillage. However, because the bingo book did not exist and Aizu did have things such as recon, they did not know who the person was or how strong he was. When the king saw him, he did not think too much of him. However, he was getting older, and his son was prime and ready to take over. The king decided that Yosuke dishonored Aizu by the thought of trade, that he decided to make an example of him. He said, if this man is beaten by my oldest son in battle, then my son will take over. He will also contact Yuzushiogakure no Sato and ask for compensation for such an event. The problem is Yoshiro did not believe it was fair that he gets nothing out of it. He told him, if I win then I can take the throne. The crowd were laughing at the thought, but Yosuke nonetheless obliged. He thought that his son was the strongest of all the men in Aizu and possibly the world. So he had no problem with this idea. The match ended pretty quickly as Yoshiro defeated him with the creation of an icicle out of thin air. From the story it has been said that the icicle was stronger than diamonds. He slipped through the son's defense and stabbed him, making him unable to move. So Yoshiro took control and became king. Now you must be wondering, what does this have to do with you? Well, you see, you do not have an heir. I am the highest captain right now. In essence, as I am the next of kin to the throne. Toshiro was calm on the outside but shocked in the inside. He said, even if that is the case, what does either have to do with the other? Ichiyana replied, now the catalyst to all of this is the offense the Konoha ninjas have done. The answer is they invaded our land without giving us a proper call. As a result, it is considered an attack on us. Naruto could not believe this. How the hell were they supposed to know? For Kami's sake, the last thing Naruto was told was that Aizu had trouble with the Amazons country. How the hell Konoha did not know about this? This was seriously has to be the worst mission ever. Asuma, on the other hand, saw Naruto's uneasiness and thought to himself, it's about to get a lot worse. The captain continued, this means that the leader of the group must fight me. If I win, then the crown is mine. The crowd was silenced as this mind-numbing event is starting to break the country apart. Naruto was not having a good mission at all. First he faced a jonin and barely won. Now he's going to face this captain who he has